What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the stream. I've got a very special stream that we're going to be going over today. And let me just kind of get it out of the way, kind of explain what this whole stream is about. This stream is going to be about us talking about CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 27. I'm going to be discussing my walkthrough, what I plan to do in the walkthrough. I want to know what you guys plan to do on your guys' own, playthroughs when you actually play the game, and just discussing everything we know so far about Cyberpunk 2077, kind of how excited we all are, the goods, the bads from what I've seen of all the preview events that I was able to watch. So, of course, just so everybody knows, I haven't played it, so I'm coming at this from a perspective of a viewer, right? But I think I've got a pretty good sense and idea of exactly how I'm going to want to approach this game when it comes out. And I want to kind of explain and talk about it in immense detail as to when it comes out and what my plans are for the walkthroughs that we're going to be doing and for the coverage on the channel. So I've got some background footage going on. And so you'll be able to see some gameplay while we're discussing all of this. If anything is too loud, if the music's too loud or my voice isn't loud enough, let me know in the comments. That way I can make sure to get it specifically, fixed. So with that being said, we're here to talk about Cyberpunk 2077. If you have any questions, make sure that you type question and then afterwards type the question. That way I can actually find them in the comments a little bit easier, and I don't have to worry about going back up and down and stuff. I can easily find the comments and know exactly what we need to talk about. So there's been a lot of footage over the past 2 years of Cyberpunk 2077. The first gameplay that was ever shown was in 2018, and we got that 48-minute video, or should I say deep dive into the gameplay itself. It was one of the earlier missions in the game. We got to see exactly what type of world that they were building, and I gotta say, it was pretty amazing. I think everyone can say that when that video came out, it all blew us away. Our expectations got fully, on, the hype train really started then. Of course, there was the original trailer that came back. We'll see, that came out in like 2012, I want to say, or 2013. It was like 7 years ago almost. It was crazy. It could have been maybe a little earlier than that, or later than that, but I'm not 100% sure. But it was the one where it was showcasing the woman on the ground, and they've got her mantis arms out or whatever, and the police is firing at her. I think that all got our excitement into Cyberpunk even more. There was some Easter eggs in Witcher 3. There's a scene with Ciri where she's talking about how one of the worlds that she went to for about half a year, where she described as metal people, metal in their heads, and flying around, in vehicles and stuff like that. So obviously she was talking about how one of the places that she had been the world of Cyberpunk 2077. So is there going to be a cameo from Ciri? We've heard things from I guess the game director of the game has said he doesn't want the cameo, but the guy actually at the head of CD Projekt Red says that he would like to see a cameo from Ciri. I think it would be pretty cool to have that. Especially since it did the Easter egg in the previous game. I think it would just make sense. So, all right, let's get down to what we're going to talk about. So first off, when you start up the game, right? So you've got 3 different versions of the game, okay? You've got the PC version, which everyone knows. I mean, there's no argument that the PC version is going to be literally the best version of the game. I think no one's going to argue about that. It's going to be the one that's most polished. It's going to be the one that they probably built all the code off of. And it's the one that they've showed most of the gameplay in, right? We have just seen a little bit of footage so far on consoles. That was that PlayStation deep dive that we went into and the Xbox deep dive that we went into. So clearly, if you're going to get this game and you have a good enough machine and you have the capability of playing it on PC, that's always going to be my first recommendation for you, is to play the PC version of the game. It's going to be the one that has the most dense crowds. It's already pretty much been confirmed that the PC version is going to have denser crowds. It's going to have like the city's going to feel way more alive. Ray tracing and all that great stuff is in there. I am sure the consoles, or should I say the next generation consoles, are going to have ray tracing in them. But right now, those versions are not available at launch. The only versions for the Xbox and PlayStation that are available at launch are the previous gen versions, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version. You're going to be able to play those on your next gen system. However, they're going to be specifically the older version of the game. So, or the older generation console version of the game. They said sometime next year. They don't have a specific date on when the newer one is going to be out or when the upgrade, but you don't even need to worry about an upgrade if you play it on PC. So my goal is to definitely get the definitely get the PC version. And then most likely I'm also going to get a console version because I also want to experience what it's like on console. So I'm probably going to get both PC and the console version just to figure out which one I think I'm going to want to do more. But yeah, so 3 different versions of the game. The PC is going to be your best version. It's going to give you all the options that you want. Consoles are still looking really good. I have seen some leaked footage of the regular PlayStation version, and I'm not going to link any of those videos. They're out there if you want to find them. There was a new one yesterday. Somebody streamed the game on their PlayStation 4, and it was rough. I'm just going to flat out say it was very rough. It's actually comically hilarious. I have the video, so if you go over to my discord.gg/Cinestrain01, the link is in the description. If you click on that and you join our Discord, I will put that video out on the Cyberpunk 2077 page. For any of you that want to view it, it's not really spoilish. Everything that's in the video you've pretty much seen, and I'm just talking about specifically the new video or the new live stream that someone did. Someone had taken a video of it, and I have that video. It's about 24 minutes long. All it does is show off. I mean, it's not really spoilish. It just shows off you coming to the city for the first time, and then you finding your apartment, and then that's pretty much it. But there is some hilarious things going on. Oops. I don't know what happened there. Oh, it took out of the thing. That's all right. We'll just go to the next one. I had these all on looped just to show you guys some gameplay and stuff. But yeah, so I will make sure that I will put it in the Discord Cyberpunk 2077 as soon as this stream is over with, so you can watch it, you can check it out. It's hilarious. I don't want to spoil anything. Again, there's not really any spoilers in it. It's things that you've seen in the previous gameplay footage. It's just running on an actual regular PS4, and it's hilarious because there are so many bugs. And I mean, there's a section that you're driving to your apartment, right? Or should I say you're riding with Jackie? You know, the section where you first get into the city, and you see, like, you're looking at the city, Jackie's driving, he's taking you there, and all that, and you're driving into your, like, apartment complex, right? So you have to go through like a garage, but Jackie drives straight into the wall, okay? And then he takes literally about 30 seconds, and I'm not kidding you. He takes about 30 seconds to back up. His car then slides and turns, like, unrealistically. There's no way a car can do this. It literally just, like, he's like turning and sliding, okay? And it's so hilarious. And you're just sitting, and then the guy's just sitting there waiting, looking at Jackie. Jackie's staring at the steering wheel. He's got his hands on the steering wheel, not moving at all. It's so hilarious. Obviously, they haven't done the day one patch. So the day one patch is supposed to fix a lot of issues in the game, but I think you guys are really going to enjoy the video. It's a nice little funny thing. Obviously, like I said, the patch isn't out yet in the video, so you're going to see it that. But yeah. Okay, so as far as let's stay on track here. Again, my plan is to play the PC version of the game, which I think looks the best. Obviously, it's going to play the best. Just announced there was a new photo mode that just got announced today. So if you haven't checked out that video, we just played it a few seconds ago, and it's in the it's on the channel, so you can check that out, where you have a full editor of video. So what you could do, and if you've seen the photo mode, and here I'm going to go ahead and actually go back to the photo mode here. You can take a look at it. This is super, super cool. So here is photo mode. So as you can see, there are so many different things that you can choose. Field of view. This is your character. So this photo mode actually shows off your character, and it allows you to be able to see your V and put them in situations that are just badass. This is what I'm going to use for my thumbnails on a lot of the videos that I do. Just like I did in Ghost of Tsushima, I used the photo mode to actually make the thumbnails. There are so many different options you can do. Like here, they're going to explode this up, so they got this nice big explosion, and there's the V. You can actually turn her around, move her around. They put her into a V pose, for V for victory. It looks freaking awesome, and I love games that do these types of photo modes. There's so many types of stickers and different things that you can play, or outlines. I mean, it looks really, really like top notch. For some reason, I thought that they weren't going to have a photo mode at launch, but they literally just put out this video. So, and then they still had it. They didn't say anything of how this is not going to come out until after the game. So, to my knowledge, this is coming out with the game. So you will be able to do this, as far as I know, the moment it releases. You'll be able to. I just love the fact that we're getting more options to be able to see our V. Right? Because that's the whole thing for me. Like, you know, I love immersion games, and that's great. You want to go full on first-person view mode, but dang it, I want to see the character that I'm creating, that I'm going to spend probably an hour in the character creation going over. I want to see them outside of just a... There we go. See if I can get Cyber. Okay, so for whatever reason I can't, it won't fast forward. That's fine. I tried to have this playlist set up, but it just didn't work out for me. So let me get the video back up, and then we'll get back on track here. We'll go to this one. All right. So let's talk about the beginning of the game. All right. Now I'm going to get to questions here in just a little bit, but right now I want to talk about what my plans for the walkthrough are, so you guys know going in what you're going to be expecting. So there are 3 different life paths that you can choose that everybody knows. And of course, those life paths are Nomad, Street Kid, and Corpo. I think I'm going to do all 3, okay? And let me explain. This is what I've decided. I have done polls on the channel. I have done polls on Twitter. I've done, just polls everywhere to see what you guys would want to see, right? And ultimately, I've come up with this option. Mostly everyone that's going to be playing this game is most probably going to be picking Nomad, right? Because Nomad's the one that starts outside of the city. It's the one that lets you be an outsider, and then you come in to the city for the first time, just as V is coming into the city for the very first time. So it makes sense why everyone would want to choose that, because it's the one you're going to experience Night City at the same time that V is experiencing Night City. And that is a very appetizing prospect, right? Like, my character is going to be new to this city. Therefore, I'm new to the city, and we should both go into it together, experiencing the same thing. However, me being a guy that does walkthroughs and videos on YouTube, I feel it very important to show off all 3. All right? So what my plan is, and I think I've already come to this conclusion, is I'm going to show all 3. So we're gonna obviously stream this game, okay? So each life path is around 30 or 40 minutes. From what the developers have said, what people in the preview events have said, it's about 30 to 40 minutes long. All right. The prologue itself is about 6 hours. So it's going to take you around 6. Well, obviously it can take longer if you're just really, not doing the prologue itself and you're doing side stuff. But on the average, it's going to be around 6 hours long. All right. So that is when the real game starts. That's like before the title screen, before the big Cyberpunk 2077 shows up on the screen and you get the big, whoa, okay, you're in your, the game is going full on. That's also at the point, I guess, where you're going to meet Johnny. That's when you're going to come into contact with Johnny, is around the 6 hour point, depending on what you've done. So the prologue itself is 6 hours, but the life path stories are only about 30 minutes of that 6 hours. All right. So what that entails is Nomad, you got 30 minutes. Then you're going to get to a specific point. There's going to be a cinema that plays, which is kind of like a montage, right? And so once that montage is done, then you're going to meet up. You've, I guess, several months have passed, and you and Jackie are best friends, and you're doing missions, and then that part of the prologue continues. The open world is there for you, and at that point, you start the missions that you saw in that 48-minute demo, the first demo that we got back in 2018. That's when you pretty much get to that point. And then you do a bunch of missions there, and then it gets you to the point of when you're going to meet up with Johnny, and that gets to about the 6 hour point. So if there's 30 minutes per actual life path, my plan is to do 30 minutes Nomad. We'll get to that point. Create a different save. 30 minutes Tree Kid. Get to that point. Do it. Get to the 30 minutes of it, to the point where they meet up. Then save, and then do 30 minutes of Corpo. And specifically at that moment, while we're on stream, my plan is to ask all of you, out of all three of those, which one seems like it's going to be the best one to continue on. I can already tell you what I want and what I want to do. I want to go the Corpo path, and let me explain why I feel Corpo is right for me, right? Because everyone has a different way of going about thinking each life path, and that's what makes this game so great, is that that this game has so much choice and you can play it the way you want. So this is why I want to do Corpo. Okay? Yes, he starts out in the city. It's not a big deal to me. It's not a big deal that I'm not coming at it from the outside and going in for the first time. That's not a big deal, because if you've seen the beginning of the Corpo path, you see that at the very right when you're done with the first set of dialogues that you do, you're going to a bar, right? I think most people have seen this if you've watched any footage. And you're flying in a car, right? You're going around and you see the city. It's the openness, the beautifulness of it. You're still getting that amazing experience that you're going to get when you're driving in with Jackie in the Nomad path, right? That whole experience. Even though technically your character knows the city, right? You as a person don't know it, so you're still getting that ooh, ah moment that we all want. So just because you're not doing Nomad and your character itself isn't doing ooh, ah, you still are. So you still get that amazing feeling. So your character starts as a businessman. You are a counterintelligence officer. That is who you are in the Corpo world. You're supposedly an ass, but I think everybody in the corporate world is pretty much an ass, because it is a dog-eat-dog world in the corporate world, and you need to get to the top. So you have a little bit of sassiness to you. You got some sassy strain going on, and and I like that aspect. I like... How many times do I play characters in video games where I'm just completely the good guy, where I do every good moral choice, right? And that's all I ever do, right? But sometimes it's fun to start out as a character that might not be so good, that maybe got a little bit too greedy in the corporate world, and he's a counterintelligence officer, so he's not like the worst of the worst, right? But I kind of like the redemption arc. Right. Now let me explain why I feel this could be a really, really cool redemption arc. Because of the fact that you start in the corporate world, and I'm not going to give any spoilers away if people haven't, if you don't know what your first mission in the prologue of the game is in the corporate world. I don't want to give that away if you don't know, even though it's been all over, the internet. But suffice it to say, you're just, you work in corporate espionage, stealth, those kind of aspects. Already that fits my motif, right? That's my niche. That's what I love to do. I'm a big stealth guy. So from what I've heard and seen, if you want to go the stealth path, your best option is to go corpo. And why is that? I mean, a lot of people ask, well, why does the corporate guy, the guy who's supposedly an asshole, is the one that does stealth? Because Corpo has the high-tech weapons. All right, the corporations own the big, smart technology, the smart weapons, the really, really good stuff, right? The stuff that the augments and everything's that really allow you to like be invisible and kind of go about being stealthy, right? That's all in the corporate world. So it makes sense that your corporate guy is going to have that opportunity to be the stealthier of all three life paths. So with that being said, you can choose exactly what you want to do. Between the characteristics that you have to start the game with, between your cool ability and your tech ability and your body and reflex and all of that, right? If you put points into cool and then points into intelligence, you're giving yourself a stealth build. So don't think that I'm saying that you can only go stealth if you're corpo. Okay? No, you can go stealth in nomad, you can go stealth in street kid, yes. But story-wise, okay, I'm thinking story-wise, it fits more in the corpo realm, right? Because look, if you work for the corporation, you work at the very, very top. You have a lot of money, right? And yet you're doing missions that you would do as a corporate officer now in the prologue, and you somehow get your butt handed to you, and now you're back down in the gutter. It would make sense that you're not going to go out there and just be like, I'm a corporate guy, hi, and all these street kids, all these gangs, all they're going to want to do is kill you. They're going to want to try to take all of your money, or they want to try to do all of this stuff. So to me, it makes sense that you're going to be more stealthy, right? I'm thinking story, guys. I'm thinking, listen, I want to be immersed into this game. And the only way that I know to be immersed into this game is to do exactly that. Let's go to the next one. Oh, wait, I think it's just doing the same. All right, let's go to the next video here. Sorry, I had it on a playlist, but it just all of a sudden decided to stop. So that's my reasoning into wanting to be the corpo, right? So we've talked about nomad, we've talked about the corpo. Now let's talk about the street kid. So when it comes to street kid, it's the mix of both, right? The street kid is the kind of person that doesn't take sides. He grew up at the very, very bottom in Night City, right? He is the quintessential from the streets. Obviously, that's why it's called street kid. So he doesn't go to either side, right? He doesn't know how to handle the corporate side, right? So when you talk, and we're going to get into the different aspects of why you would want to choose one over the other in just a few moments. But just to give you a synopsis of what Street Kid is all about, it's all about just, not being affiliated in the gang, but knowing the gang world, right? Knowing how to talk to the different gangs. And that's a big part of this game, because you're going to be dealing with a lot of different gangs in the world, and knowing how to smooth talk to them is going to be very important. And so if you choose Street Kid, well, you already have that ability before you even start, right? And then now that kind of segues into, now we went over a little bit of the life paths between Nomad and Corpo. Nomad, you have a family, but as you can see right here, you're going against your family, like you were part of the bankers or whatever that was called right there, and then you throw it away. So you've kind of, or backers, you kind of go away from your family and you want to start anew. That's your nomad path, right? But family is very important to you. You have values, okay? So I would say the ultimate good guy, in my opinion, would be the nomad, right? because you didn't grow up in a dog eat dog world as the street kid. Street kid is a dog eat dog world. So is the Corpo path. But I feel like the nomad is the one path where you care about people the most, right? Street kid is I'm surviving on my own down here in the slums, whereas Corpo is I'm just trying to do whatever I can to get to the top. So hopefully I've explained that somewhat decent. But let's go into the whole reason why you want to choose one or the other. This is really, really cool. So each and every single life path, and now I might be talking about things that you guys already know, but that's just the whole point of this video, is to go over everything we know so far. Okay, so with the nomad path, every time you deal with nomads, every time you deal with someone on the outskirts in the Badlands, you know, out here, you're going to have an opportunity to have more dialogue, to be able to do options that you normally would not be able to do, right? That goes the same with street kid. When you're a street kid and you're talking to gangs, right? People on the streets, you're going to have more options than you will if you were a nomad talking to the gangs and Corpo and all that kind of stuff. Same thing for corporation. If you're talking to the uppers, the rich people of society, say you're doing missions for them, well, as a Corpo, you know that lifestyle, so you know when they're bullshitting you. Like, take for instance the 48-minute demo when we saw the female corporation officer interrogating the guy in the car. You wanted to get some information because you're trying to, you know, the main mission of that 48-minute demo, right? Well, if you're a Corpo, then you know she's bullshitting you, and you know that she's going to put a poison in the chip, and then it's going to cause a big ouster. So you get more dialogue options, which means you get more options with her. And when you get to that point in the mission, you will get an option saying, "Hey, I know this. Maybe you know it," and you can literally avoid a fight, right? My whole entire playthrough is going to be this type of playthrough. I want to be smart, right? I want to be the kind of person that is going to stay out of fights as much as possible. I know a lot of people are probably going to want to go headfirst in there thinking that this is an action game instead of an RPG. This is an RPG. There's a lot of slow dialogue. There's a lot of getting to know your characters, getting to know all of that. And for me, I want to experience that because I love this. I mean, okay, I'm going to be honest. It's hard for me to like a lot of RPGs because sometimes they get boring. Sometimes they get repetitive, right? Which is why I've always been a fan of the smaller linear type of games, because I like a world that is specifically crafted to the inch of detail, and that says, yes, you're going down this path, but we have made this path so beautiful, and we've made it immersive, and we've made it whatever. And that's why I like the linear stories, because, you know, even though it's taking me down a specific path, I don't mind that. Whereas in RPGs and open world games, which there's way too many open world games, less detail in the surroundings happens most of the time. Like if you've played any Ubisoft game, you've played all Ubisoft games, except for Immortals Fenyx Rising. I definitely recommend that you go and play that. It's amazing. Go play Immortals Fenyx Rising. Comes out tomorrow. Anyways. But you get what I'm saying. I'm kind of tired of open world games, but there's something about Cyberpunk that has changed it. And in the previews of what all of the people that have played it have said, the city is the best representation of a city in a video game. It really feels like it's dense, it's populated, there's stuff to do, there's not a lot of repetitiveness type of gameplay, and I love that. They've literally described it as a linear feeling of a game, but open, meaning that all the detail that you see in the streets, all the detail that you get in everything feels like it's linear, but it's actually open world. And this makes me excited. This makes me feel good that that they know what they're doing, that they know how to cater to everybody that they're trying to cater to. So I don't think this is, yeah, we'll do this one. All right. And then we'll do the 48-minute demo there. So you kind of get a little glimpse of what the three different life paths are, right? Nomad, Street Kid, and Corpo. So again, as I have said, we're going to do all three at the very beginning. I'm going to go through all three of them, all right? And then we're going to make the decision which save to continue, right? I can already tell you that what I want to do, and listen, everyone says, this is your channel, run it the way that you want. No, that's not what my channel has ever been about. My channel has never been about running it the way that I want to. This is our channel. I've always felt that this channel brings out the best in all of us, and this is a community. This is a place where everybody can be together. So I want you guys to have an impact on what this story is and how we go about it. You guys mean the world to me for helping me even get to this point in my career and all that kind of stuff. And this is not my channel. This is our channel. It's a part of who we are, right? So I want you guys to have as much say that I would have in it. You know, obviously I'm the one playing it, but it doesn't mean a little bit of you can't shine through my gameplay. That's the whole point. All right, so we've talked about the three life paths. I've talked about what we're going to be doing. We're going to start out with all three, then we're going to make that decision which one we're going to pursue. Again, I want to pursue Corpo, but once I take a look at all three intros in full, then I can get you know, you don't really know until then. You can start up a path and say, this is what I want. But then 20 minutes in, you realize that maybe this is not what I want. You know, maybe this is not going to be for me. Maybe I want this other type of arc going on, right? Like what you're seeing right now, this is the Street Kid path, right? This is how you're meeting Jackie. You know, you start off as antagonist, which I think is different because in the other two, in Corpo, when you meet Jackie, you start off as friends. You already know each other for a while. You've been best friends, right? Whereas in Nomad, you start off meeting him for the first time because you're doing a job together, right? So he's part of a job you're doing and you're meeting him, and that's how you meet. This is how you meet in Street Kid, and in Corpo, you already know each other. You're best friends. I like knowing that me and Jackie are best friends. I think it builds, which is another reason why I like the Corpo. I think it builds the character as him being someone that we truly care about, right? If you're going to play the first 6 hours with Jackie and, you know, he's going to be your right-hand man, I really want to feel like Jackie's my right-hand man. I want to feel like he is my best friend. And the only way, in my opinion, to really feel that is going as Corpo, because he really is your best friend. There are things that you'll probably be able to talk to him about that you wouldn't be able to talk to, you know, as a Nomad or as a Street Kid. And those are the types of things that I like. But that also means something else. It also has everything to do with Johnny. When Johnny takes over as, you know, when he gets inside you or whatever, I mean, I know a lot of you maybe haven't read up on the lore of Cyberpunk 2077. But there's a lot of really good lore videos out there for you guys to check out if you want to know any more about, you know, like kind of the backstory of Johnny Silverhand and the corporate wars that went on. I looked up all this stuff because I am just so excited for Cyberpunk. I just wanted to get into it as much as possible. And I feel so bad that I've never actually looked up any of this stuff until, you know, the game was announced or whatever. I never knew anything about Cyberpunk or anything about the lore or anything until the game was pretty much announced. And there's so much rich history about Cyberpunk, and I think it's something you all should definitely look at for doing that. And there's plenty of videos out there that showcase the lore and that. But let me give you just a little brief intro into Johnny and how he's going to play into the game a little bit. So, I mean, obviously Johnny has been dead for like 50 years, okay? He's a rock star. He's someone who, you know, he got his big shot and his big break with his band Samurai, and he becomes a big figure. Well, then he starts to go into politicalness, and he's against corporations. He's against all that stuff. And then there was a big corporate war that happened between Arasaka, which is the main villain company of the game, which is the company that you, as a Corpo, work for in the very beginning of the game. So that adds that whole redemption line in the Corpo, right? Which is why I love Corpo so much, because it's like I work for the company that are true villains, right? But then I realize and find out firsthand, because I get screwed over, how much these guys are villains. and then I have a redemption arc, and then I come back and I go against the corporation and I take them down. You know, that's why I'm so excited about Corpo, because it gives me that feeling of like sticking it to the freaking man. It's like, you know what? You had me, I fell for your crap. I saw the money, I saw the chicks, all the ladies, and I had all the dough, all the best weapons and everything. And then all of a sudden you get this point in you, or in the story, in that intro, where, they leave you for dead. I don't know what happens. I mean, I really don't know, because I haven't seen the full Corpo thing, but you have to start back from the bottom for whatever reason, right? And that's what makes it so exciting for me, is having that feeling like I get that redemption, right? Feeling like I get that whole, like, I'm coming after you. I'm going to break you because I know what it was like to be you, I can understand what you're going to do because I was you, and having those types of dialogues when you're messing with the corporate people, because that the end of the game, whatever it may be, is going to have a lot to do with the corporations. It's going to have a lot to do with the rich, a lot to do with them. So I'm thinking in-game strategy here when I'm picking my character. I'm thinking in-game strategy, right? I'm getting into it, yo. My wife is laughing at me in the corner. Make fun of me. Go ahead. Make fun of me. Oh, where are you? Mm-hmm. But do you see what I'm saying, right? So I'm thinking in-game. I'm thinking that whole nice redemption arc, right? So that's why I like the Corpo path. Now, think of this as to Johnny, right? Johnny hates corporate. He's against corporate. He wants to take them down. Keanu Reeves wants to just... You know what I'm saying? That's what he wants to do to corporate life. So how awesome is it to have that type of animosity, and have that the antagonist feeling that you're going to have when Johnny comes into your life, right? That is so cool, right? Every time we see Keanu Reeves, he's always the nicest guy, or he's always a good guy. I don't think I've ever seen... There has been a Keanu Reeves movie where he was bad. Wasn't that like The River Wild, or I can't remember the name. I don't know. It was back in the 80s or something. But normally we see Keanu Reeves as being, the Neo type, the Johnny Mnemonic, he's been a lot of Johnnies in different movies, but you see what I'm saying? He's always a good guy. So getting that first initial aspect of him being against corporation, right? Maybe Johnny starts to convince us as the corporate person that these guys are evil, these guys are bad, these are the villains of the story. Join me and let's destroy them. You know what I mean? That to me feels like the perfect arc, right? He's going after all of the corpos. That is the perfect arc for me, and that is why I like Corpo so much. You know that he's against corporation when you're a nomad or a street kid, but you don't, you're not going to have that initial animosity towards him because you were what he hated. You know what I mean? So you get that extra little bit of thrill in the whole thing. So again, just another reason. I'm just trying to explain why Corpo to me just seems like such a... That was the first time I heard the corporation path. That felt really strong to me, right? Because I also love the nomad path. I also love knowing I'm starting from the outside, starting from scratch, making my way through Night City, and being all that I can be, right? But something about that Corpo path, that redemption path. Now, there could be a redemption path in the nomad because we don't know why he's leaving the family in the very beginning. So there's a lot of mystery still left to be solved that you're going to find out in the game itself. So, that's just my 3 cents on the intro of the game. And we've only talked about just the prologue and intro of the game. So you can see where I'm coming from. Again, we're going to do all 3. We're going to start out with all 3. I'll probably start with Nomad, do Street Kid, and then do Corpo for the third one. So the first hour and a half of the stream is going to be pretty much just doing those intro sections. Now, one thing that I hope is that you're going to be able to have multiple saves, because I know a lot of games out there, they won't give you the option to have multiple saves. But if we go anything off of The Witcher 3, we're going to be able to have multiple saves. We're not just going to be limited to one specific save. You know what I mean? So that's at least good. that we have that option to choose between the different ones, you know, that we want to do. So, all right, let's take a break here for a second, and I'm going to answer some questions. So what I want you to do is, if you have a specific question that you want to ask, you're going to type in question and then put the question, and then I will get and answer as many as I can. And then we're going to start talking about what my plans are as far as the actual walkthrough goes, and how I'm going to play the game, how I'm going to go about each and every single mission, and what I'm going to do in that aspect. So the first question is, what gangs are my favorites so far? I would say that my least favorite, I can tell you my least favorite, is the animals. You know, that we saw that deep dive video in 2019 with the animals. I think they're going to be my least favorite because they only care about themselves. That, yeah, I think they're going to be my least favorite. Question, why don't you want to be a corporal? What are you talking about, big boss? That's what I want to be. I think you got it backwards there. My thoughts on photo mode. Okay, so photo mode looks awesome. I'm very excited for photo mode. I'm going to be doing my thumbnails based off of photo mode, I think. If I get the chance to do that. That's going to be like one of the biggest things I do. Any information on owning multiple safe houses? As of right now, no. So you're going to have one apartment throughout the entire game. Now, they did say something about DLC allowing you to possibly be able to have multiple apartments and to buy property. So this was something mentioned a long time ago. The developers had said you'll be able to possibly in DLC, future DLC, it has to have a different apartment. But as of right now, you have one apartment, and that is your apartment for the entire game. So Big Boss says that you said that the first thing you won't do is Corpo. That is because the last thing I want in my mind is the Corpo path. So therefore, we're going to be doing Nomad, Street Kid, and then Corpo. We'll do it in that order as far as the intros. Remember, we're playing intro before we continue on with the main game. Will I do a stealth walkthrough mainly? Shantanu, hopefully I said that right, asks. Yes. My walkthrough is going to be mainly stealth. You guys know me. You know how it is. But there is something that I need you all to remember. That this walkthrough is not going to be like a normal walkthrough. It's not going to be a video walkthrough, right? When I do my video walkthroughs, I literally play the levels first. I take my time in the levels. I look where every possible, secret area or stealthy entrance area could be, you know, the different ways to tackle the objectives. That is what I do. That's most of the walkthroughs that you see. I play the missions first, then I go back and then I actually record them, knowing exactly where I need to go, showing you exactly how you need to do it if you want to remain as stealthy as possible, right? This, unfortunately, because it's live stream walkthrough, so it's more of a let's play than it is a walkthrough. Because of the live stream format, whatever happens, happens. My initial thing for every mission that I tackle is going to be stealth. But it is very possible, because you know, if you haven't played the mission first, you don't know exactly where to go, that stealth could be ruined and I'll have to go guns blazing. So I have to think about that too. I have to think about the fact that I go in and I don't stealth something, well then all hell is broke loose and I got to figure that out, right? So if that's what I have to do, then that's what I'll do. Now, there might be some cases where saving is going to be the biggest thing in the game, right? You can save anywhere at any time except in combat. So as long as you are not in combat, you can save. It's going to be your friend, right? Because I'm probably going to be using the save feature a lot. Even though I might not be 100% perfectly stealthy, I'm probably going to save and say, oh, I saw this path here at the last second, but I just got caught. I'm going to go back. I'm going to now do that path and see if I can continue that way. There are going to be instances where I do that. Okay. So I'm just letting you know that that's something that I plan on doing. Right. What else? Yeah. If there is enough love for what I'm doing and you guys want to see an actual real on 100% pacifist walkthrough. So in this game, you can actually get through the entire game without killing anyone. However, and I need to stress this, you cannot get through the entire game without being seen. Okay, there are going to be moments where you have to automatically get into a fight. All right, there are going to be moments where you will not be able to stealth something, where you're going to get into combat and you have to do combat. You can't just run around people. Well, there are things that allow you to stay non-lethal. There are non-lethal weapons in the game, right? So you will be able to play a mission, be completely stealthy, have to get into a fight for story reasons or whatever, or because of the plot. But then you can be non-lethal. You have non-lethal options. There are takedowns that are non-lethal. There's weapons that are non-lethal that I guess knock out. So you will have those options of playing non-lethal. Okay. If you all are going to want that perfect playthrough of every single mission, done 100% stealthy as possible without taking out a single person in the entire game, you have got to let me know. You have got to voice your opinion. You have got to, in the comments when you see the walkthrough video, or when you see the videos, the live streams, let me know that you want to see that specific type of walkthrough, because it's a very daunting task to play a game like this, an RPG that's going to take probably 50 hours to complete the story and another, 150 hours to do all the side quests and everything in it. Because of the nature of how big the game is, if I were only to do a walkthrough, it's fruitless. The game is too long, right? Each video, a mission might take 20 minutes, a mission might take an hour, right? So imagine how many videos would be in that in that walkthrough. Okay, there'd be at least 100 some videos in that walkthrough, and probably by video number 4 or 5, people's not going to want to watch anymore. It's unfortunately, this is the way YouTube has gone. This is the way the walkthrough community has gone. A lot of people don't want to sit there and watch that type of gameplay anymore. There's a lot of people out there that still love stealth, that still love watching stealth, but more people love the aspect of a live playthrough, right? Unfortunately, I know I wish this wasn't the way, because I prefer steady videos of walkthroughs of showing you exactly how to get through a section and how to do all of that stuff. But unfortunately, everything has changed in the aspect of YouTube and stuff. Twitch has took over how we view watching gaming content. It's all about fast-paced action. It's all about let's play. That is what is the most dominant right now, and you have to be able to change with the times, right? You have to be able to update yourself and do better and be better. So I want so bad to do a video walkthrough of this game, but my first priority needs to be the live stream, doing the videos, or doing it that way, getting through the game. If there is still love and appreciation for what I'm doing and you want to see more, then I am all for going back and doing the walkthrough and doing it 100% complete stealthy, 100% pacifist run. I don't know if there's going to be a trophy or an achievement based off of you didn't kill a single person in the entire game. There literally are boss fights that you can avoid. And again, if you have to do a boss fight, you can take them out non-lethally. Does it change the story? I bet you it does. If, like, okay, we saw some footage in the deep dive video where you're tackling Sasquatch. So I'm sure anyone that has watched the videos know who Sasquatch is. She's a part of the animal gang, right? She's a boss fight that happens at the end of that deep dive. When I was at E3 in 2019, was it E3 2019? Yes, it was E3 2019. I had a behind the scenes demo, okay, which was a lot more than what they actually showed in the footage that you all got to see, right? You all got to see, like, a 14-minute video or whatever. Well, I got to see a little bit more. I got to see about an hour playthrough of that same exact thing. And in that hour playthrough, they showed a lot of stealth and they showed action, just like you got to see in your deep dive. They pretty much did like a summary, a Cliff Notes version of the video, but we got to see the full-on thing. So I got to see them hacking a lot. I got to see them checking out all of their weapons and then doing the thing. You can avoid the boss fight altogether. You can save the boss at the end and not kill them. How will it affect the story if that boss is still alive? Will they come back after you later on? Will they join your side because you spared them? Have you showed them the way? Do they hate you now because you made them into a weakling? You decided not to kill them. There's so many different things that could happen that we just don't know the answers for. But in that long video, I got to see like a full 20 minutes of someone stealthing that entire section. Right? And there's so many options that you can do, so many things that you can get away with that you would normally think you can't. Is this going to be modernizing stealth? Is this going to be a breakthrough in the stealth genre department? No. It's just basic stealth mechanics with a new fresh coat of paint is pretty much what it is. We've seen most of the stealth elements that you're going to be able to get into. There's over 200 some perks, right? Those perks are going to allow you to be stealthier. Those perks are going to allow you to be more of a badass. So many different, perks that you're going to get to choose from. So what are you going to do? I don't know what you're going to do. I just know what I'm going to do, and how my plan is always to go stealth first, and then what happens. Especially if it's in a live stream, you never know what's going to happen. Everyone makes mistakes. No one can perfectly do a playthrough on a live stream. It's just impossible unless you've played it a million times and you know exactly what to do. That's the thing about stealth genre. Anyone can be good at stealth, but you have to practice at it. It's not something you can just be good at, right? You actually have to work up to it. You can't just be good at it, all right? So with that being said, that's my plan for the walkthrough, to be stealthy, to do that. I'm not going to go for a pacifist run on my Let's Play. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm going for a having fun but stealthy. Maybe I'm going to take some people out. Maybe I won't take some people out. Maybe I'll zip by people and not mess with them at all. Maybe I'll actually go through and take some people out. I want to try all the weapons. I want to try all of the cool gadgets. I'm really excited for the hacker tool that we get. The I can't remember what it's called. The nanowire? Is that what it is? I'm really excited for that. So having that, because you can hack them from afar, you can also use it to slice them in half. I mean, come on. So much fun. All right. So the next thing, let me answer a few more questions, because you guys have got a lot more questions have just come in. All right. So my thoughts on the cybernetic upgrades is there are so many. I can't wait to try them out. I'm not going to deck my my V out into looking monstrous, but I heard that you actually can't do that. You can't go full on psycho, but you can have a lot of modifications. You can make your face look unique and different, and stuff, and you can take out your arms and your legs and be cybernetic and all that kind of stuff. But you can't go on full weird looking, I guess, which makes a lot of sense. Let's try another one here. You said you will take the redemption path as ex Corpo, then give the background as ex Corpo. What character class will think you suit for the redemption path? Stealth, because you're going to need stealth. Corpo has the best weapons. Corpo has the best. They're rich. So I feel like when you go up against them, you don't want to go against them head on. You want to go against them stealthy. So that's why I think the redemption path requires a lot of finesse, stealth, in order to get past them. Question from MR Idga Fo 7. How important do you think money is in Cyberpunk? Is considered power or street cred more important? I honestly think that street cred is going to be the most important thing, because street cred allows you to get better gear. Yes, money is important, but without the street cred, it's the same, right? Obviously, you can't get this gear without money. But my guess is, if you want to have those types of things, you're going to want street cred. Right? Money will come with missions, but I believe street cred comes with side content. So it gives you a reason to play side missions and whatnot. So that's why I think street cred is going to be pretty freaking awesome. Definitely street cred is, in my opinion, is more important than having a bunch. Question from Icy Kid. Do you think the marketing or the CD Projekt name made this game or the most hyped in years? I do believe that this game is 100% the most hyped game in probably 10. I would say this game is more hyped than GTA 5. We all know how hyped that was. All right. Here's the thing, and this is what I need to stress to all of you out there. I have to stress this to you guys. Please listen to this, even if you don't agree with it. listen to it. Even if you're going to do this, listen to this, what I'm about to say, because it's going to help. Do not, and I have said this many times, do not go into this game thinking this is a first-person shooter, this is an action game, this is a Call of Duty type of mechanical game. It is not. Listen, it is an RPG first most. This is a role-playing game. Look up the definition of role-playing game, and that is what you're going to get into. This is a slow burn. All right? This is a lot of you sitting next to someone talking. Like character building, character moments, right? Yes, you can do a lot of action in this game. But if you go into this game and you specifically go in thinking, I'm going to kill everybody, I'm just going to shoot first, ask questions later, you're going to die. You're going to die horribly. You're going to not enjoy the game, and you're going to hate it. You're going to put bad reviews. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. And you're going to tarnish what this game actually is. I can't stress this enough, because I know so many people out there are wanting to play this game like that, and they're gonna go into it thinking that this is how you should play it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how you should play your game, but I am going to sit here and tell you that if you're going to go in thinking the game is going to be this way, and then you decide to hate on the game because it's not, then I'm going to be upset, because that's not what this game is about. Every game has a way that it's set up. Even though this game caters to action, this game caters to stealth, this game caters to playing the way you want to play. We're not saying you can't go about and do that, but do not go out there and go into this game thinking it's straight up action, set pieces like Call of Duty, balls to the wall every second of every mission. It's not that way. This is a slow build. If you've played The Witcher 3, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm willing to bet a lot of people that are going to play this are going to be fans of Call of Duty. They're going to be fans of Battlefield. They're going to be fans of first-person shooters, because all the trailers have shown is badass combat, is all of these cool combat tricks that you can do and all of this stuff. But the game itself really hasn't shown a lot of the story. They don't want to ruin the story for you. They don't want to ruin the moments that really make this game shine, okay? So there's going to be a lot more of those types of moments than there are going to be action moments. So you need to get that in your head. And that's what I'm so afraid that the media and everybody has hyped this game up so much. All the trailers have shown off so much action. And it's just, in the end, it's going to make people think this game is not as good as I thought it was going to be. It's not as, it's kind of boring. Sitting there looking at this guy, talk to me back and forth. No, skip, get to the action, kill him. And there's going to be people out there that do that, and that's fine. Play it the way you want. But just, if you're going to write reviews, and if you're going to do, if you're going to have a voice on this game and people listen to you, you have to understand what the game is first, what the true mentality of the game is before you go and do that. All right? That's all I want to say. This is not GTA, okay? This is not an open world GTA. Do not go in and think this game is GTA, because it's not. You're going to be very, very pissed if you get into the open world. The first thing you try to do is go and steal a car. You can't. You literally can't, because it's a perk. It's an upgrade to be able to steal cars. It's not GTA. You can't just go in, hit the Y button, and steal a car. You have to literally upgrade that specific perk to have that type of ability to do that. It's an RPG. It's a slow burn, right? All the previews that I've seen, and I've watched every single preview of the game, has stated every single time that this game is a slow burn, that it is a game of sitting around. The very beginning, combat is not fun. Literally, that is what they said. They said combat is not fun in the beginning. Once you get more perks, combat opens and it becomes more varied. Because if you just rely on the combat alone, I don't think you're going to enjoy this game. If you just rely on nothing but combat, you're not going to enjoy it. You're going to be very, very displeased. You're going to hark on the game and say this is not lived up to the hype that it was supposed to. But however, if you go into the game knowing what this game truly is, what the immersive experience of this game is, then I feel you're going to go in and you're going to love it. You're going to love it even more because you're going to be swept away in this environment. You're going to be immersed in the day-to-day lives of everyone you see. One of the preview guys said that he followed so he was like, I don't know the story 100% exactly, but I'm just paraphrasing, that he was just walking around in the world and a fight broke out and somebody started running away. So what he did was follow that person for a very long time, for like 20 minutes. He just kept following them. And that person kept running away. Like, they were so scared of what they got into that it's not something that, okay, they're programmed to run for like a second and then all of a sudden just stop and go back to normal. No, they were legitimately scared for their life. So they just kept running. Like, there is so much immersion to be had in this game if you take off the action glasses and you look at the game as what it truly is. Okay? This is an immersive cyberpunk RPG role-playing game. It puts you in the shoes of V, of a character that can start out whichever way you want depending on the 3 different life paths and go from there. That builds up. Okay? It's not an action game. Again, I hate the fact that I have to say this all the time, but I just know there's going to be so many people that's going to be disappointed in this game because they went in thinking the wrong thing. And you don't want to do that, right? You want your hype to be at its ultimate and you want it to feel like it's going to measure up. But I'm telling you right now, first of all, this game will never measure up to the hype that has surrounded it. I think everyone can agree with that. Because when a game gets too hyped, there's no way for it to hold up to that. It's only going to go down. Listen, I'll be honest, I'm very hyped for this game, but I'm hyped in a realistic way, right? I'm not hyped to the point that this game is perfect and that there are no flaws and that there's nothing, not a single thing negative I'm going to ever be able to say about this game. If you hype yourself up to that point, you're going to be so disappointed. You're going to be so disappointed. Don't do that to yourself. Go in knowing that this is an RPG and every RPG has bugs. Every open world game has bugs. It's impossible for it not to. You could spend all the time in the world, all the delays in the world, and the game will never, ever not have bugs. It's just the nature of the style of the game. It's an RPG. If it's a linear game, you're going to have less bugs because they're able to put you down a specific path and you don't have to worry about anything about that path because they've laid it out in front of you. So they know exactly what's going to happen. They've seen every corner. But when you have an RPG like this, you can't do that. There are so many things that could go wrong. It's just the nature of the beast. So hype yourself down a little bit. Love and enjoy what you're about to experience, but understand that you're going to see some funny things. Don't let it ruin your immersion. Don't let things that you normally see in RPGs ruin the immersion that you have set off for yourself. I mean, that's like the biggest thing that I can say. You don't want to do that, right? So I hope and I pray to all of you out there that when you finally experience this game, understand what it is going into it. Hopefully I've been able to do that for some of you out there, that you're a little bit better on that. All right, let's get into some more questions. First of all, do I think this is going to be Game of the Year? I think it has a shot at being Game of the Year. But here's the problem. It's not going to be Game of this year. It's going to be Game of next year. Because the game is coming out on December 10th, which is past the Game of the Year race, right? You've already seen the Game of the Year options. First of all, this has not been a good year for Game of the Year. In my opinion, Game of the Year is Ghost of Tsushima. If you want my honest 100% opinion, Game of the Year is Ghost of Tsushima. Okay? I feel like this is going to be game of the year next year, right? Now, I guess you could consider I'm probably going to feel that this game is game of the year, but if you look at it in its most real sense, they don't consider this game until next year. But I think Ghost of Tsushima is the game of the year as far as that goes. Last of Us 2, no. I'm sorry. Last of Us 2, no. It has great gameplay. I love the stealth in it. Story it's good. I mean, I didn't not like the story. I think they took a lot of chances and they did stuff that no one else is willing to do, and I praise them for that. But the gameplay is just like the previous Last of Us, right? There was nothing that really stood out that made me think game of the year material. Just because it had a new fresh coat of paint, it looked great, but it wasn't, in my opinion. Again, there's going to be people out there that are going to think it is, and it probably will win game of the year. But I don't think it should, in my own opinion. I think Ghost of Tsushima. It's we've never had a Japanese setting like that before, so that already places it in good standing for me. The stealth was awesome. The world was beautiful, and again, open world games are so. There's too many of them, in my opinion. We need less open world games. But that was an open world that I didn't mind searching in, and I did a lot of side missions in Ghost of Tsushima. They were fun. They were the most extensive side missions I've ever seen. They had arcs. Like every side mission you did had like 7 that followed it, that led into its own story, right? That's good gameplay. That's good storytelling. It felt good. It's based off of history. How cool is that? You know? That's why one of the reasons I love the Assassin's Creed series is because their games are based off of history, right? But then again, there you go. I don't think Last of Us 2 should be Game of the Year. It didn't do enough for me to warrant a Game of the Year award. Although I think it's going to get it. It most likely will, because I don't know. But I digress. We're talking about Cyberpunk. So let's keep going with the Cyberpunk theme here. Let's see some more. Keep your questions coming or whatever. But as I've said previously, I'm going stealth. That's going to be my main build in the game. So question, can you kill NPCs in public? Yes, you can. So you can literally go up to anybody on the street and kill them. Yes. So there's your question. Or there's your answer. Yes, you can do that. I can walk up to an individual NPC and shoot them dead. What's going to happen? Depending on where you are, if you're in Pacifica, the cops don't show up in Pacifica because it's a lawless type of area. So that's going to be one location where you could probably get away with a lot more crimes. But then again, if you still commit a lot of murder in that area, probably the gangs will start coming after you, I think. So there's that. I like how the guy said it doesn't matter, my opinion is shit. To say Ghost of Tsushima is better than The Last of Us. It is. And it is my opinion. Everyone is entitled to it. You can think what you want. In this channel, I will never tell you what you need to think. You think what you want to think. I can only give you my opinion on everything that I feel, right? So maybe you don't agree with the game. Maybe you do. But that's, you know, I'm just giving you my opinion. Now, I know that the question got deleted by our mods or whatever, but I did see it before then. Someone asked, obviously, can you romance in the game? Yes, you can. There's a lot of romance. You got to remember, guys, Cyberpunk is very big on the 3 aspects of a rocker: sex, drugs, and rock and roll, right? So Cyberpunk is going to have all of that in spades. So you will be able to romance. There are, and see, that's the thing. That's why I have to say that there's a lot of aspects that can remind you of GTA, but you can't go in thinking it's GTA. There's just a lot of things that can remind you of what GTA is. The open world, the going around taking cars from people, there's a lot of things that make it feel like GTA, but you cannot compare it to GTA. It is not a GTA clone. It is not. Romance, yes. So there are women or men on the streets that you can find. There's a little marker above their heads that has like lips that are slightly opened. If you see that marker in the world, you can walk up to them, pay them money, and you can then go into a romance scene. From what the preview guys said was the romance scene is about 30 seconds long, and there is full nudity, especially in the female department. There's no nudity in the male department outside of character creation. So if you were hoping to see things outside of character creation in the male nudity area, you will be not happy. I guess. There is a lot of the chest region on females in the game. That's mostly what you're going to get. But in the character creation, you do see both full frontal male and full frontal female parts. You can actually choose the different types of parts that you want. You can literally have a male body but have a female part. You can literally have a female body but have a male part. The game gives you the option to be who you want to be. That's the society we live in. Everyone is more free and open. So the developers have put all of that in there. You can have a male V, or should I say a masculine body type V with a female with a feminine voice, right? So you have many options to do what you want to do. All right, this is gonna be, you're gonna be able to create the character that you want to create. So when I say that, just understand that this is an RPG. You're going to get all those options. However, this is not a third-person RPG. What that means is the only time you're going to see your character is in photo mode that we saw earlier. So photo mode, there are mirrors in the game world. However, you have to turn them on. So the mirrors are all off. You walk up to them, you click a button, and you turn them on, and then you can see your character. So you can outfit your character to whatever you want. And then you can see them in that way. You can also see them when you're driving in third person, or like when you're riding on a motorbike, you can see them. However, there is no third person combat. There's no third person walking around or anything like that. I'm not upset at that. I don't mind that. But one thing I am a little upset about is cutscenes. Like, yes, I think it's really cool to be immersed in the cutscene because it's coming through your eyes. But I want to see my V in cutscenes. I want to see my V interacting. I want to see their lips move when they're talking. I want to see that character interaction that you get. I want to see that, right? It doesn't take from me, again, and everyone is different. It doesn't take immersion away from me if it pans out during a cinema and I get to see my V moving around. Look at how cool those cutscenes were that we saw just in this video right here. We saw earlier when V was waking up, right? And we saw our own V getting up and doing that kind of thing. How cool is that to see your own V doing that, you know? But we're not going to get that in the game. Those type of things you're not going to see, and that's unfortunate. I understand why they wanted to go that route. It makes total sense that they wanted to immerse you as much as possible, but why give you so much character creation if you can't really look at your character except for a few points? Doesn't mean I'm not going to deck my V out to looking super badass and cool, right? Still going to do that. Still going to go up to every single mirror I see and just to make sure I'm looking all nice and good. You know, I'm probably not going to do any of the teeth grilling or anything like that. I mean, there's so much customization that you can do in this game. It's beyond ridiculous. Maybe they'll put in some third-person stuff later on down the line. I don't know, but it's okay if they don't. You know, I want the developers to make a game that they feel they want to make. Okay, I'm unimportant when it comes to those types of things. But that's just my opinion. Okay. Everyone is completely different. There's no cover system. There is, I guess you can say there is a cover system in the means that when you walk up to a cover and you're crouched and then you aim above the cover, instead of just aiming into the cover, the game will smartly go above it or to the side of it. So there is a cover system. It's just not a cover system where you magnetically push yourself to the cover. And it's not like Deus Ex, or it's not like Rainbow Six Vegas, where when you go up against cover, you go into third person. It didn't need to do that. There was no reason for it, right? But it still does give you cover, and thank you to them for at least allowing us to still have a feeling of cover. Because realistically, when you're going into cover in real life, you're not doing it that way. You're literally looking forward. You're not having your back against the wall and then peeking over. No, you're probably have your front faced into the cover, and then you're just peeking out the side or whatever. And that's in the game. So that feels more realistic. So I do appreciate for them for that. Also, if you're, and I see someone commenting about this, if you're on PC, please, please, please get the GOG version. Do it. Get the GOG version. The reason I say this is because every single bit of money in the game, every single bit, goes to CD Projekt Red. That is so important. That is because CD Projekt Red owns GOG. Okay, GOG is the service that's just like Steam, or just like whatever. Again, this is just if you want to. You don't have to. Get the game wherever you want. If you want those awesome Steam achievements, hey, by all form, get it on Steam. Play it the way you want. But if you want to also give back to the developer for making a game like this, then get it on GOG. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to get it on GOG. As much as I love Steam achievements and all that kind of stuff, it's more important to me to support the developers that make these types of games, that give you the option to play the way you want to play, and that make these worlds and stuff like that. So myself, I'm going to get GOG. I already have GOG. I'm going to play it on GOG. GOG. So just go to GOG.com and then you'll see. You'll also get special perks for doing it on GOG. You get special perks for doing it on whatever system you're doing it on. So it's not like they're doing one or the other. GOG does have a great launcher, and GOG is DRM free. I mean, if you are sick and tired of corporations, of the publishers, putting limits and restrictions, making everything online, GOG is your best bet, because GOG is DRM free. A lot of games I play on GOG, my Chronicles of Riddick games that I play are from GOG. My Witcher 3 games are from GOG. I mean, GOG is just no DRM. It's so good. I mean, and again, that's my opinion. You might not like GOG. Maybe you've in your time, GOG has been bad for you or for whatever reason, but I want the developers to get as much money back as possible, right? Steam has, I think, one of the worst ratios for games. Like, so if a game is on Steam, I don't know what it is exactly. I think it's like 30%. 30% of every sale of a game on Steam goes to Steam. And then the developer itself gets only like 70%. Whereas if you buy it on GOG, it's going to be 100%. Even Epic Games, if there's one good thing that they've done, is make it to where it's like 10% or something similar to that. So it means like 10% goes to Epic, and then 90% of the game goes to the developers of the game. Those are things you got to think about, right? Steam is great. I love Steam. I have hundreds of games on Steam. Don't get me wrong. And I'm going to keep getting games on Steam, right? But man, that's why Steam has made so much money. That's why they're millionaires, and because they've put a monopoly on that stuff, right? And Epic Games does give you free games. You can say what you want about them trying to do exclusivity, which sucks, because I want games to be everywhere. I want everyone to have the choice to play a game where they want. I don't think any game should have exclusivity to one specific one or another. You know what I'm saying? I want everyone to be able to freely choose where they want to get a game. It's up to them. But, I also want the developers to get as much back as possible so they can continue to make these types of games. And it's just something you can do to make sure that happens. So if you're like me and you're like-minded, by all means, get it on GOG. That's going to be, I think, the best place. And the other reason I say that too is because since it is made from CD Projekt Red, I think a lot of care and effort is going to be put into the GOG version. I'm not saying that care and effort isn't going to be put into the Steam version, but I really feel like, you know, that's going to be the version that's going to get the first updates. It's going to get the first everything pretty much. I mean, I don't know how all that works. I'm just estimating here. When do I think the PS5 and the Xbox Series X versions are going to come out? If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's going to be sometime next year. They did not put a date, but I think it's going to be early next year because it's not like they're really doing anything specific. I mean, you got to think about it this way. So they're pretty much just going to take the PC version and copy and paste it into the Xbox Series X because the Xbox Series X is going to be able to be equivalent. Obviously less because you know PC version is going to be the main version, but again, at this point in time in 2020 and early 2021, Series X is still it's only gonna run better. It's only gonna have more frames, probably denser crowds when the update comes out. I mean, that's about it. Right now, it's not gonna be until about 2 or 3 years until true next gen is gonna be shown, right? And here's the thing. We can say all we want about how awesome next gen is, but PC is always gen. PC is it's never in the past, it's never in the future. PC is always going to be the best place to play video games. It's just, I'm sorry, I'm not a PC fanboy. I have PS5, I have an Xbox Series X. I love my consoles, but PC is always going to be better than any console. It's all gen. Exactly, Renee. It's all gen. It's just how it is. And if you think anything otherwise, then you're just lying to yourself, man. It's just how it is. A PC is always going to be the better version of any specific game. It's just how it's always going to be. You will never, ever... Okay, I won't say never, ever, because obviously the PC version of... When you outsource a game, that's when PC can have a problem. Take, for instance, Batman Arkham Knight. I played the PC version of the game. I didn't have as many issues as a lot of other people were having. But nonetheless, that PC version was the worst version to get at launch. Right? We all know that. That's because Rocksteady outsourced the game to a different developer when making the PC version. That's the only reason why that happened. But when you're creating a game, the game is always going to be better on PC. It's always going to be made for PC and then ported to other things. That's just how things are. There's just so much more you can do with a PC than you can do with a console, no matter how next gen the console might be. Granted, there is a finer line between the consoles and the PC now, but it's still, I mean, technically your Xbox Series X, I would say, is probably equivalent to a GTX 2080 maybe. I would say it's hard to give it because Xbox is AMD or whatever. They run off that technology and not NVIDIA. So it's hard to get the perfect equivalent of what I'm trying to say there. And a lot of people can't afford a PC. You're exactly right, Death Metal. Like, that's why consoles are there, for those that can't afford a PC and still want a good experience. And you're going to get an optimal experience. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. But when I stream this game, my plan as of right now is to stream the PC version. I'm actually going to use 2 computers because I found that streaming as I did with Deus Ex Mankind Divided yesterday when I streamed, I couldn't play the game in 4K and stream it in 4K, even though my system is like one of the best. Even though I have a 9900K and a GTX 2080 Ti, the stream still won't work good enough to do that. So I've got, I'm going to use my second computer, stream the game in 4K, and then my other computer will play Cyberpunk ultra settings in probably 1440 or 4K, depending on if I can get as close to 60 as possible with a 2080 Ti, because obviously it's so hard to get a 3080 right now. So I can't see myself having a 3080 in the next week and a half. So I'm just going to do the best that I can on my 2080 Ti and have everything set up to the max. Probably playing it in 1440 and streaming it in 1440 would be my guess, just to give you guys the best quality as possible. So I hope you guys got good internet. because I will be streaming this game at a very, very high bitrate. But if you're able to watch this stream, then you're going to be able to watch that stream. As I'm streaming this stream right now in 20 megabytes a second. So you're getting a good high quality stream of this currently. So you should, if you can watch this stream without no problems, then you should be able to watch the stream that I have did. Mango, the life path that I'm choosing all three. We're going to play all three at the very beginning. And then we're going to make our choice there. But right now I'm leaning towards Corpo. Just because of the immersion that I want of being a stealth character, of redemption. And I think Corpo gives you the best redemption arc. So if you want to hear me talk about that more, then you can check out the beginning of the live stream, the first 40 minutes or so. If you pre-order it, doesn't mean you get it sooner. No, that is not what pre-order means. However, if you pre-order it from somewhere like Amazon or something like that, and you're getting sent a physical edition, sometimes that can be the case. Sometimes they sent it out like a day early and it actually shows up a day early. That is very, very possible. Just to let you know that that could be something that does happen. You could get it a day early, but most of the time you're going to get it on the day that it's released, and you're not going to be able to play it probably until later on in the day, because usually Amazon doesn't even bring off their shipments until 3 or 4 in the afternoon, where you could play the game at 12. So as far as the release schedule for the game, let me go ahead and get this out there. The release schedule for the game is going to be releasing simultaneously everywhere in the world. What does this mean for everything? So when they do a staggered release, when they set a time zone release in your specific time zone, like say I live in America, Eastern Standard Time, EST. So when a game usually comes out, they always say it's 12 midnight Eastern Standard Time, right? So then that's when I can download it in America, Eastern Standard Time. However, if you are Pacific Standard Time, which is 3 hours behind, you will actually be able to play the game at 9 p.m. the day before, right? So the way that they're doing this release is everyone is getting it at the exact same time. So I believe that time is they did a post on it, and it's pretty much 12 a.m. whatever Poland time is the time that the game is coming out. So for us, I can only tell you for Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific, I believe I'm going to be able to play the game at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So think of it that way. So on the 9th, not the 10th, even though they say the game is coming out on the 10th, that's because the countries that are overseas are not getting it till the 10th. But I'm going to be able to play the game at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you're going to get to play the game on the 9th. All right. What I normally do is, this is what normally happens for me when I'm playing new games. If it's a console exclusive, this is what I do. If it's like, say, a PS4, right? And let's say when I did Red Dead Redemption or when I did God of War, right? Even though the game was not released in America, I changed my localization settings on my PS4 to New Zealand. If you change your localization, then the Sony thinks that you're located in New Zealand, and the game is actually already released in New Zealand before it releases in... This was for specifically God of War or Red Dead Redemption or Uncharted. So I was able to play the game a full, 12 to 13 hours early because of that, because of the localization, because you can change your localization. However, for Cyberpunk, since it's a multi-wide release all at the same time, no one is going to get to play it before anyone else. You can't do that. So there's no reason of changing your localization for this game, because everyone is going to play it at the exact minute. I like that. I do like that, because that's good for content creators, in my opinion. Being able to compete with other content creators. So because of that, it also means that I'm able to play the game at the same time people that live in Australia or New Zealand. And since everyone would used to do the the region thing, some players would have the game out way before others, and those views would rack up. They would get more subscribers, and that's how they became so popular, because they were able to put a game out so much earlier than everybody else, and that's how they were able to rack up those views. But releasing a game everybody at the same time means that everyone is going to have a fair chance that want to do walkthroughs or live streams to get people watching and to actually, you know, beef up their channels, have more subscribers, that kind of thing. I think it's fair for everybody else. Now, you also have the others of us that most games I get are usually sent to me by the developers. So I usually get it early, or I'm able to play it early or do a stream early. But a lot of content creators break street dates, and because they have so many subscribers, YouTube won't do anything about it. Developers won't tell them, well, you don't get games anymore. Even though they say they will do that, they don't, because they'll get so many views on, they'll get like 1 million views on their first video, that the developer's just going to be like, well, we got 1 million views, which means more people are going to watch the game, so we're just going to let them continue to do that. And I think that sucks so many levels. It's getting harder and harder out there for any content creator to gain new subscribers because of those issues. So starting this game at the same time for everyone, I think, is a good thing, even though it means that I won't be able to play it as early as I would if they did the staggered launch, but it also means that I'll have a better chance of getting more new viewers to the channel. And as a content creator, that is the most important thing, is one of the most important things, is bringing new people into the channel to be able to watch what you're putting out there. And obviously to have a type of personality that says, you can come back to me, we're going to have fun here, I'm someone that you can watch. And hopefully I've been able to do that, you know, for a lot of you out there. Hopefully you've been able to come to this channel and realize that this is a place that you can feel appreciated, that you can be a part of a community, and you like coming back in here time and time again, because that is always what I try to do. That is always my goal, is to make it to where you guys feel that you can come back here and feel like this is a good place for you to spend some of your time. That's always my goal as a content creator, is to give you reasons to want to come back and to continue to be with us. So hopefully I've been able to do that. But yeah, we've already reached 200 likes on this, so thank you guys so much. Have 400 people watching. That's awesome as well. Thank you guys so much. So if you haven't left a like, you know, it helps the channel out. It helps us to reach more people. Leave a like on this live stream here. Comment below. Also, let me get to know you. If you're new to the channel, say hi. We want to get to know you. This is a good community. We don't have trolls here. This is not a community full of hate. This is a community full of love. And that's what we do here. So say hi in the comments. Hello, Ghost Tales. Yes. Was it removed? Oh, that sucks though, right? Because I was wondering about that, Omega Blaze, is that that Mantis ability to stick to walls was so cool, but I'm sure they had to take it out because of other reasons. I'm sure that something wasn't working out or whatever. That does suck, but you know, at least they're doing it. So let me say hello to a lot of people. Icy Kid, welcome. Thanks for the sub. Ains Gaming. Emily, hi. How you doing? Mango, thanks for being here. Daxes, thanks for always being here. And of course, thank you for being a member, especially to Shadow, Renee, Daxes, Arlo, all you guys. Thank you so much for being members. Members help this channel to continue to grow and just be here. This is what I do full-time, everybody. This is a full-time gig. I'm just trying to make it by. We've got a new baby girl that we've been supporting. So thank you to the members out there that help me to be able to pay the bills to continue to do this. This is what we do for a living. So thank you for the support. If you can't support by becoming a member or becoming a Patreon, then thank you so much for leaving likes. Always helps. Commenting, sharing always helps. All that stuff helps. Also join our Discord.gg as CenterStrain01. And it's a place to just talk about games. I am going to be doing the Corpo. Don't worry about that, Ains Gaming. We're going to be doing all three at the very beginning of the stream. And so I'm very, very excited. Check out, see how all three plays, see the different dialogue options we get, and then we'll choose at that point which one we're going to be. Yeah. So again, if you want to become a member, all you got to do is click that join button. Or the lowest tier is like $2, and you get a badge by your name. Obviously, you can join our Discord server where you'll get a special
thing on there, and you'll just be able to be known as someone who supports the channel, and I'll be able to interact with you a lot more because it's so much easier for me to see your name when it shows up the way that it does for members and stuff. A lot easier. It looks like, I guess, wall running was removed. That is very, very sad, because I really did like that feature. Now, one thing that I'm actually really excited for, and I think a lot of people that are RPG staplers, like people that love RPG games, are going to love the smart guns, because not a lot of people are really good, especially on console. Not a lot of people are really good at aiming in games. Sometimes it can be hard with a controller. So having that smart gun is going to be very invaluable, I think. Have I got the game early by any chances? Unfortunately, no. I wish. I've put in my request to get the game. I've gotten every CD Projekt Red game early for the past few years, for a while now. I've got a contacted CD Projekt Red. So do I think I'll get it? I think maybe. I don't know. It's just hard to say. There's just so much want for this game. So many content creators out there that have put in requests for the game. It's hard to say if I'm going to get it or not. So even if I don't get it, I'm not going to be upset. Nope. Because I'm just so excited to play the game in general that having it early doesn't mean anything to me. Yeah, but most probably the biggest thing that CD Projekt Red has done as far as giving the game out is that they've given it to actual reviewers first before they give it to content creators. So content creators and reviewers, I don't consider them the same thing. Like people like ACG, he does reviews for games. Yeah, he's a content creator, but he does reviews for games. He doesn't sit there and play the game in its entirety on stream or do videos or something like that. He does reviews. So they want to give the game out to those types of people that aren't going to spoil stories and stuff. So being a content creator can be kind of hard when it comes to this kind of stuff, because Ubisoft has been great. I have a great relationship with Ubisoft. I usually get all of their games a week, 2 weeks early. Got Assassin's Creed 2 weeks early, Immortals 2 weeks early, Watch Dogs 2 weeks early. And those games, I have a great, outstanding relationship with Ubisoft. I've been a part with them since like 2013. So they've just been amazing. I think Ubisoft does it right when it comes to what they do for content creation. We just went through that entire 48. Let's show some more in... through the and again, yeah, I'm just showing previous gameplay that has been out to have something on in the background for you guys while we're talking about the game. I'm just I can't tell you how excited I am, but at the same time, I'm not hyping the game up to be perfect, because I know there's going to be so many problems with the game when it comes out. If you guys remember Witcher 3's launch, then you know when that first game launched, there was a lot of bugs. But we don't look at all the bugs today, 5 years later from the launch. We look at the game as being a masterpiece. I think that's how Cyberpunk is going to look if people go in knowing what the game is, an RPG, and not thinking it's an action game. That's true, Jason. Jason brings up a very good point that the smart weapons are also very good for disabled gamers. And I think that that's an amazing thing that these... Have you noticed that a lot of developers are really putting out a lot more accessibility options, right? How awesome is that? It is about time. Too many, there are too many people out there in this world that just have something that limits them from being able to play a game in the normal aspect. And this gives them that opportunity too. So, thank the Lord for developers for putting that kinds of stuff in game. I remember in The Last of Us 2, they had an option that completely changes the look of the game, so that if you were that bad and colorblind or you couldn't see very well, that you would be able to know where to go and where certain things are. You could experience the game just like everyone else gets to. I think that's just a wonderful thing. How many buildings are enterable? So I'm not going to say there's not a lot of buildings that are enterable, that are not enterable, but think of it this way. When you're going around in a city, you just don't go around and check out every building, do you? Like, no, you don't. Because all you would go inside and there would be nothing for you to do, and it would just be an inside hallway and whatnot, and there's no reason for you to go inside and even look at it. So what is the point of having every building innerable? That's not realistic. Most buildings would be locked. So I think what I'm trying to say is that it is something not needed. You don't need to look in, especially with a densely packed city as Cyberpunk 2077. You don't need all of those buildings to be innerable. You just want some of them, the ones that actually have story related content. And so in that aspect, yes, you're going to be able to enter your apartment. There's a few floors on there that you can go to. There's other buildings. There's a few floors you can check out. There's going to be a lot of things that you're going to be able to go into, but do you need to go into every building? No. All that would do is take up more time for the developers to have less things on the screen because they have to do more interiors for games. I love the way that CD Projekt Red, is someone playing it right now on Twitch? Hey, I mean, if you guys want to go check that out, I mean, that's awesome, but I probably doubt it. If they are, it's going to get deleted very, very quickly. Because CD Projekt Red is very, very adamant right now about spoilers, playing the game before launch or whatnot. It's definitely going to get taken down. The question is how much of it is actually on there. Yeah, because I've already seen a few videos of people streaming. One guy just sat there and was I just, talking stupid. I mean, didn't even do any gameplay. No, Deadman, you cannot change to third person. There is no third person in the game. All first person, even the cutscenes. And again, so you guys remember the cinema from 2019, right? Where you go in there and you get the Johnny chip or whatever. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that kind of thing. It's all going to be in first person. I'm kind of pissed about that. Now we got people in the chat saying that they've played it themselves, which is a little bit harder to believe. Unless you actually have proof. Will it run at 4K? Yes. The game... No. Okay. The game will run at 4K on Xbox One X. It's not going to be native 4K. It's going to be checkerboard 4K, which means it'll probably be running at like 1440p and then upscaled to 4K if you have a 4K TV. That's how usual games are. Jason says, you're almost totally blind and you can play Last of Us Part 2 from the beginning to end. I'm so happy for you, man. That's awesome. I'm actually blind in my left eye, or my right eye, sorry. Left eye. I'm legally blind in my right eye, so all I see is shapes, but I don't really notice it because of my left eye is so dominant that it overcompensates. So I don't even notice that I don't see anything out of here, which does make it hard for me to play first-person shooters because I can't react to things fast enough. Having two eyes is easier to react to when someone, jumps out at you and shoots you. But having one eye, you're a little bit slower, so it's harder for me to play first-person shooters, but that's why I still love to play them. But my left eye is my dominant eye, and it's pretty much the only one I actually see out of. So I know exactly how you're feeling. I mean, I'm not totally blind, obviously, because I still have my left eye, which is pretty much good to go. Do I think the Game One's going to look good on Xbox, original Xbox One? I think it'll look good, but I don't think it's going to run very well. And I'm just going to say that honestly. This game is not a game that I feel is going to run good on original Xbox and original PS4. I think there's going to be a lot of problems that you're going to see. But some people, that's all they have, and that's okay. I mean, hopefully the game will. Hopefully they'll fix all the bugs. But I think if you want to enjoy the experience the most, PC or Xbox One X or PS4 Pro or the next gens that you want to play it on. The game does look bad on the PS4. Like I saw the leak of the PS4, and it looked pretty bad. There was a lot of bugs and some weird stuff that I had mentioned earlier. Loading screens are very long. I looked at the leak on the PlayStation 4, and the loading screen took about 2 minutes just to load into the game. However, there's no loading in the game. It's just loading into the game. So take that for what you will. Yeah, a lot of people wait until new games come out. See, unfortunately, I don't have that luxury of waiting. I have to play everything when it comes out because I got to put it out there. And we got to get, that's the whole thing, is we have to keep continuing to build our channels for those of us that are content creators. So you just got to keep building your channel. Yes, I'm going to play it on PC, but I'm also going to get probably the Xbox Series X version. I mean, I'm torn between the PS5 and the Xbox Series X version as well, but I've been leaning more towards Series X, even though I'm actually really digging the PlayStation 5 controller a lot more. Series, I don't know, man. It's just something about, the controller's so comfortable on Series X. It just fits in my hands. Where can you find the leaked footage? Well, I mean, I can't really tell you where to go find it, but if you type it in Google, you're gonna find it. You're gonna see it. Yes, the lack of loading screens is really impressive. Elevators moving at the same time, you know, is really impressive. Of that kind. Is eating or sleeping required? I don't think it's required. This is not a MMORPG. This is an RPG. So, they haven't said anything about eating needing to be required in order for you to do something, or sleep needing to be required. Like you said, it does give you bonuses. Exactly. It'll give you bonuses, but it's not something that you have to do in order to live. Does that make sense? I will tell you this. If you're going to play it on PS5, you're probably really going to enjoy it because of that haptic and trigger feedback that you're going to get from the game. I think is an amazing, wonderful thing. So if you're going to play it on that, you're probably going to really get a lot of excitement out of using those triggers. Can you pet a dog? I believe you can. I think you can actually pet a dog in the game. I believe I saw somewhere where they said that you could. It is an RPG, not a survival game, so. Nice, your Xbox Cody says his Xbox X is coming tomorrow. That is awesome. Now, is that your One X or your Series X? I hate Microsoft and their decision to name them Series X or One X. Stupid names. Come on, just... You're not confused about the PlayStation side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that's smart. But Xbox is trying to reinvent themselves every time they come out with a new console. And an Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, Xbox One S. I mean, it's just, come on. It's like, come up with Xbox 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is all you need. Why you got to do all that other stuff? I also don't think the game is in 60 on consoles. 60 FPS. If you want the most highest frames for performance-wise, then you're clearly going to want to play the PC version. Can you own a dog? I don't think you can own a dog. Yeah, so it's so weird. They have code names for their games, and they have the names that they came up with. I mean, just come on, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, it's the combination of my luggage. I think you're right, Ghouls, the next gen versions, when the update comes out, it's going to be 60 FPS, but I don't think it's going to be played like that now. It's still going to be. If you're running it on a 2060 and you're playing it in 1080, I think it's going to run just fine. Yes, Sony gives their consoles simple names, which makes it so much easier to remember what system you're trying to talk about. I mean, come on, it's so hard. I get so confused sometimes and say Xbox One X when I'm in Series X. Oh, just so you know, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was a play on Spaceballs, which is my favorite movie. Were the main option turn off nudity? Yes. So in the game, especially in the character creation, there is a lot of nudity. You can actually look at your junk on both male and female in the character creation. You can turn nudity off. So you've seen in the trailers where it has that blurry line. That's what it will look if you turn nudity off. If you don't turn it off, you will see all of that. So if you want to go balls to the wall, literally, then, you know, have your nudity on and look at all your junk all you want and have fun. I mean, I don't know what to say. Is it in VR? No, but I'm hoping that some modders are going to come out there and make the game in VR. Since it is a first-person game, it will be easier to put in a mod setting for VR. Because I believe there was a mod setting for VR in The Witcher 3 if you downloaded that mod. Someone will play the entire game without clothes. I don't think you can do that. And the reason I say I don't think you can play it without clothes is because you need street cred to do certain things. And street cred revolves around clothes that you wear and stuff like that. You get street cred for looking cooler. I don't think you're going to be able to play the full game naked, although that would be hilarious. But it would be somewhat hilarious if you are naked and you're doing a mission and one of the options comes up that says, dude, put on some dang clothes. I think that would be a pretty cool option, but I don't know how immersive that is. I don't know. If 1060 is the recommended, I mean, again, if you're playing 720 or 1080, you shouldn't have any problems. But I haven't played a game in 1080 in so long because I usually like to play 4K or 2K. Underwear is going to be forced. I can see that, you know, it would make sense. Exactly. Not everybody out there is going to have a lot of money to play what they, you know, or get to choose what they want to play it on. So play it on whatever you have and just get immersed in the game and have fun. Oh, so I remember seeing a question earlier about brain dance. So take this as you will. Some of the guys who played it, the 16-hour event, he was very bored by the brain dance. But he also said he was bored by Red Dead Redemption 2. So I find that to be hard to believe. I think the brain dance is a really cool feature because there's so many things that you could do with the brain dance. You know, it's kind of like detective mode. I love that detective mode in Batman Arkham Origins. You remember that detective mode when it started you to be able to do that stuff like that? That was really cool, and that's similar to what you're going to get here. So I'm really looking forward to the brain dance options. Now, they say that brain dance in the universe is mostly used kind of like VR, you know, XXX, right? So it allows you to go into someone else's body and feel what they're feeling. It's like kind of like the futuristic VR. But it also can be used other things. Like people do brain dance to be able to feel the sense of killing someone or murder or something like that. So it's interesting to see the different ones you're going to be able to. I don't know if you're going to be able to just like go up to like a brain dance counter and pick a selection of brain dances to do. I don't think that's it. I think they're mostly story or side mission related as far as brain dance goes. But you do meet a character that I think everybody is going to want to romance, and that's Judy. And everyone's pretty much seen Judy at this point. So as far as romance options, you are going to be able to romance a lot of different people in the game. No one's done it yet. As far as the preview event, they've only done the quick romance, which is the, you know, buying a lady or male of the night. That way. Here's another thing. So each life path has a different romance that you can do. There's a romance for nomad that you cannot do as a corpo or a street kid. There's a romance, I'm thinking Corpo Meredith, I believe is her name. You know, that corporate girl that we saw in the first gameplay feature is only available to romance as a corpo. And then I wonder if Judy is more street kid or not. I'm not 100% sure. So you do have options. There will be people, you know, you'll be able to romance same sex, not same sex. And here's something I haven't really talked about, and I want to know your guys' opinion. Right now, I want you to tell me in the comments, every person that's watching this right now, tell me, are you female or male V? Now, if you're neither female or male V, are you masculine body with a female voice? Are you female masculine voice with a feminine body? What are you going to be? I definitely want to know. Well, let me get to another thing here. Let's do. So I see a lot of male Vs. You're gonna play both with different life paths. See, that's what you should do. I mean, he's got it down right there. Cross knows what it's all about. Like, you know, why have just one playthrough? Do two. Do one female, say one female nomad or one female male, and then do one female Corvo, one female male. You know, mix it up. Why play this game just once? You're not getting the full experience. Play it multiple times. That's a good one. DJ says he's going to be a V-male. Female street kid, okay. I'm seeing a lot of different diversity. I love that. Tommy says he's a guy, so he'd rather look at a chick than a dude. But just remember, you're not really looking at your character all that much, which is what's made me very, very conflicted on if I want to be a female or a male V. I really don't know as of yet. This is a tough decision for me. Like, I actually really 100% don't know if I want to be a male or female yet. Maybe I will do a poll on the channel to choose which one you think I should be. But as of right now, I'm not really 100% sure if I want to be female or male. I don't know. I'm very, very torn. I love the way that the male looks, but I also love the options that you get for female. So it's just, I mean, there's no one way you should play it. Play it the way you want to play it. Do what you want to do. If you're male and you want to play female, why not? If you're female and you want to play male, why not? Do whatever you want to do. It's a video game. That's why they give you the choice. There should be no one way you play it. This is a game of choice. Therefore, play it the way you want and have fun. Have multiple saves. You know, do what you want. Do what you want to. Okay, so Gerard says he wants to be male V, no distractions. He doesn't want to be distracted by the female. Okay. Yes, I'm actually really, Chris brings up a good point there. He's very excited to see how the co-op is going to work. If there's going to be co-op in the multiplayer version of it. How is that going to work? I heard it's going to be asymmetrical, so it's going to be interesting to see when the multiplayer version comes out in a few years. But that is so many few years away. I just don't really know. Now, as far as the customization goes, I mean, you can see all the different things you can do. There's no sliders. It's all specific points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like that. So because there's no sliders, my guess is there's going to be a lot of people that are going to look very similar as far as that their Vs go. Which I can understand because you're not really seeing your V that much, so they didn't need to put too many options. But I have a feeling that a lot of Vs are going to look very similar. I think the biggest way to make them not is going to be the different hair colors you're going to see, the facial features that you can do, like putting some of the cybernetics in your face and stuff like that. Daxus says he's going to make his as ugly as possible, so he's gonna treat the game like Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which you had some amazingly disgusting people in that game. I don't know if any of you remember Mass Effect 1, the character creation screen. So you would have a number system, and you could take other people's character creations and use it for yourself. So people would do videos back when Mass Effect 1 came out on PC, and they would create like an Arnold Schwarzenegger type of character. They would create different things. I was so addicted to those videos back in 2007 of people putting out some really crazy looking Mass Effect 1 characters. And I remember I would play the game multiple times just so that I can play as Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, those things are fun. So I'm really interested to see if someone creates like a Keanu Reeves build where it looks like him, or a different celebrity, or a different, you know, someone in culture, media, whatever. That's going to be really interesting. Also, this trailer's almost over. I'm going to go ahead and stop this trailer. For some of you out there that may have not seen, there has been the new photo mode. So check this out. And I'm actually going to, hold on a sec. I'm going to allow the sound to play for this one because it's really badass. I'm going to mute this one. And Oh, no sound is playing right now? Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. No, it should be playing. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, hold on. This is just still some really, really good stuff here. Wonder why that's not playing. Oh, I guess I got to turn it up. Now, let's talk about this photo mode. Because holy freaking crap. I'm going to go back and you guys can see it all over again. And then we'll kind of discuss it a little bit. Let me get the music back. All right. So, photo mode. Wow. Obviously, this is going to be amazing because you are allowed to literally, this is your character right there. You're seeing V. So this is another chance for you to see your badass character that you create, right? You're going to be able to put them in different poses that make them look even more badass, right? So this is so freaking cool. In my opinion, this is going to be awesome. I think photo modes in games are something that should be in every single video game out there because games are so much art that these things need to be happening in these types of things. So I'm very, very proud and excited the fact that they do have a photo mode. And it's going to be so cool that you can change that your V's position where they're like here, they're doing like a little T pose, like they call it V for victory. Change the expression, you know, look at how cool that is. Now, of course, we all know that the photo mode in Ghost of Tsushima was absolutely breathtaking. I used that so much. We started almost every video with photo mode because it just looked so freaking good. And I'm very, very excited with the different types of options that you're going to get to choose here. CD Projekt Red has done nothing but impress me. Ever since Witcher 2 is when I really started to get into CD Projekt Red. There's been a little bit of scrutiny lately on CD Projekt Red with the crunching and the delays. I don't think any game should be crunched. I mean, I think developers should stop. I'm going to say publishers. It's really not the developers that are doing this. Publishers should stop putting out release dates until they know for sure that they're going to be able to meet it. Now, you can always say, well, you know, some circumstances happen, but now we can't. Which is why I prefer the way that some people do releases. Like, look at the way NVIDIA does releases. You can say what you want about... you can say what you want about NVIDIA and how no one can find a freaking... Oh, it crashed. Hold on. You can say what you want about NVIDIA and how you can't find a freaking 3080 or a 3090 or whatever. But the way that they do their shit is they announce it literally like 2 weeks before it comes out, and then it's out. I'm sorry, but I agree with that model. That's what I agree with. I agree with that specific way of doing things. I think we should get a release date 2 weeks or so before the actual release date. You see how that could really come in handy? Where, yeah, you can give trailers on your game, you can do this, you can do that, but don't say the release date until you're about a few weeks or maybe a month from actually releasing. At that point, you know that the game is good. You know that the game is gold. You know that you're done with all of your bugs finding and all that stuff, and then you release it, and then your game is good to go. Too many games these days do not come out 100%. They come out 70% done, and they're going to patch them and fix them over the next few months. I hate that. Oh, I hate that. So many games these days. Oh, so many games are unfinished completely, and it takes months before they're done. Before they're at the point where they're 100% done. They're rushed. They just need to meet a deadline. It's all publishers and all that kind of bull crap, and I hate it. Because all it does is make the gaming industry look like they just don't know what the heck they're doing. And in most cases, they know what they're doing. They're doing it on purpose. Because they can spend less money and release an unfinished product and then update it every so often, as opposed to spending a lot of money updating it now. So they're waiting to see their investment on the return. If they see that the game sold very, very well, then they're like, all right, well, we have a little bit of extra money now, since we're making so much money, to update the game and to make it better. But then when a game comes out and it's very harshly criticized because it's running poorly and it's not good and it's not finished, what do? They abandon it. They abandon it. That's what you get. I'm sick and tired of this mentality for video games. I miss the days of back when games came out and that's it. There was no updates for games. There didn't need to be update for games because they were finished. They squashed the bugs before they released the game. They did all of this and the games ran so much better. Now games are a a live service, right? I mean, Anthem is something in recent memory. Such a horrible launch. Horrible launch. So much hype, anticipation for the game, and a horrible launch. Same thing for Avengers. I liked the story in Avengers, but oh wow, how do you take a Marvel property and have it be that bad? I'm sorry, but how do you do that? How do you take something that millions of people absolutely love and have it be that bad? Have literally 98% of your fan base not abandon your game a few weeks after launch. How? I beat the game. I beat the main story of the game in 3 live streams, right? It was done. I had no desire whatsoever to play any of the side content. Nothing. And I love Marvel. I mean, I'm more DC than Marvel, but that doesn't mean I don't love Marvel. I love Marvel, right? Everyone does. Because it's lighthearted. It's fun. And how did you screw it up that much? I knew from the moment that I saw that behind the scenes closed door demo that they did about an hour. So it was pretty much the entirety of that first mission we got to see behind closed doors as the media at E3. I knew from that moment this game was not going to live up to the hype or what people were expecting. I knew from that moment. I said to myself, it's not. People are not going to they're not going to dig this. Everything feels generic. The characters felt generic. The voice acting felt generic. I mean, it just didn't feel good. I mean, and then of course when it released, bugs, not fun, repetitive gameplay, repetitive side missions. It's just, there's so much to be thankful for with video games, but there's also a lot that just piss you off. You know, I'm sick and tired of Ubisoft's constant rehash of the same game over and over again. It doesn't, even if it's a different series entirely. Ghost Recon Wildlands, fun, not Ghost Recon, not in the slightest, right? Breakpoint, kind of more Ghost, not Ghost. They kind of did it when they put out the new modes for stealth and immersion. Still, that is not Ghost Recon. I'm sorry, it's not. Assassin's Creed Origins, amazing. Loved Origins. Great. Fun. Odyssey, okay. I'm still not completely tired of Assassin's Creed the way its RPG roots are now. Valhalla. Granted, I'm liking the story. The story is great because I love history. I love that kind of stuff. Gameplay? And everyone's going to be different. Exactly. And I think, yeah, Eaton Big Ols says it exactly right. He likes Valhalla because it actually has assassins. And I think a lot of people like it because they put more Assassin's Creed in the game, right? That's why, from everyone that I see, that's why they're saying they like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. None of them are saying they like it because of what they've done with the gameplay. No, it's because they've put more assassin stuff in it. It's because you have your blade and you have, you know, hunting the hidden ones, or whatever you want to call them, the Order of the Ancients in this game. You know, the times of Ezio, as Hull puts it, were amazing. Really felt great. I'm sorry, but I feel like Valhalla is the worst of the new trilogy. The worst of the new trilogy. I think it goes Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. I liked Odyssey because it's Greek mythology and the world was so beautiful. The seas, the everything just felt beautiful. It felt great. I actually felt like I was playing Black Flag again because of the whole different islands and stuff you could go to. Whereas Valhalla, no, it just there's just something about it. From the moment I started playing it, I said, this game is not what we all wanted it to be, and everyone's going to be different. Don't hate me because this is how I feel. If you feel completely different, that's amazing. If you love that, that's great. I'm so happy that you absolutely 100% love it. I really am. It just I don't. I love the story, but I don't like the gameplay as much. I mean, I'm tired of the way that the systems work in the game. I'm tired of the RPG format for Assassin's Creed. I'm hoping, this is what I'm hoping, all right? Prince of Persia Remake is coming out in January. Please don't delay it, but please let it be finished without bugs. I'm hoping that it becomes very successful and that they see that you could still make those original style games in the original format that they were. This remake, I'm hoping it does really, really well. I really want it to. I cannot wait for the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake. I'm hoping that we don't get an Assassin's Creed in 2021, that they take a year off, and that they're making something akin to remakes. I want them to go remakes. I really do. I don't want them to come out with a new Assassin's Creed right now. I want them to remake Assassin's Creed 1 in the style of the original, but updated and not repetitive like the original was, with how you had to do this mission, this mission, this mission before you even got to the assassination. Obviously, you're still probably going to have to do that, but I hope they make it fun. I think I would love an Assassin's Creed 1 remake more than Assassin's Creed 2. Because I still feel Assassin's Creed 2 holds up in today's standards, but I don't feel Assassin's Creed 1 holds up today. Which is why I would prefer an AC1 remake. I think they're doing it. I feel they're doing an AC1 remake, but I think they're also keeping null on the word of it until Prince of Persia's remake comes out and see how well it does. So if you're planning on, if you're on the fence of getting Prince of Persia, know that you getting that or not could have a lot of effect on if AC1 gets remade, or even if Splinter Cell comes out. We need to show Ubisoft that we still care about these old series. that they fail to keep bringing back. They keep bringing back these Ghost Recon and all that, but they're a shell of their former self. I don't want that to happen to Splinter Cell. If they're going to come out with a new Splinter Cell, I want it to be new, and I want it to be similar to the older ones. And you can have your own fresh, new, unique style to it. You don't even have to have Sam Fisher be the main protagonist. You know, you can have him being your Lambert type of character. That would be fine with me. But Ubisoft has fallen a lot, and I just hope that they can find their footing again. However, Immortals Phoenix Rising is amazing. From the moment I played that, I had a smile on my face. The moment I started playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I started getting sad and sad. But the moment I started playing Immortals Phoenix Rising, I got happy. It uses the same tropes of every Ubisoft game. It's got mixes of Assassin's Creed, it's got mixes of all that stuff, right? But it does it in a way that just feels good and fun. I love the cartoonish look of the world. Everything about it just feels good. It just feels good. It's fun. It's lighthearted. I can't tell you guys enough. Trade in your copies of Valhalla and get Immortals Phoenix Rising. It's fun. It is so fun. And I'm not going to do a walkthrough for it because there's just too many of these long ass games right now that I just can't get to. I don't want to start something else that I just cannot finish. It's overwhelming. You got these long ass games. You just can't power through them, which is why I'm focusing on Cyberpunk when it comes out. That's the content you're going to see for a very long time on this channel, is going to be Cyberpunk related. So I hope you're ready for that, because that's what I'm focusing on, and that's what you're going to see. Again, I'm still going to be finishing up Splinter Cell and all that kind of other stuff and playing my old games that I love. But my body is ready, exactly. My body is ready for Cyberpunk. And I'm going to play it. I'm going to do stealth. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to get knee-deep in the conversations. I'm going to get immersed. And I'm just going to have fun. I feel like we need this game. As a society, as Homo sapiens, we need this game. Just to make us forget about the crappiest year of the history of humanity. And I say this is the crappiest year in the history of humanity, and my child was born in it, which is the most amazing thing. My beautiful baby Ella, born on April Fool's Day in 2020, surrounded by all of this negativity with the pandemic and the way America is right now, and its elections and politics and all that kind of stuff. There was one good thing so far, and that was my little baby girl. So kudos to me finally being a dad, and that's what I've wanted to be, a dad for so long. You have no idea. And I'm just so happy, and it makes me cry inside, because I've always just wanted to have that connection, and I finally have that connection, you know. And it was just the most amazing thing when she came into when we found out that she was coming into our lives. So so much negativity around 2020, but at least there was that positive. And now I feel like Cyberpunk can be another amazing thing that can come out of 2020 and hopefully bring people's spirits up. Vaccines are coming out soon. There's a lot to look forward to, but right now the pandemic is at its worst, so we also have to think about that. Continue to stay inside, continue to be careful, continue to be yeah, you're right. And when I said this is let me put it this way. In my history, okay, I wouldn't say the history of the world, but in my own personal life, this has been the worst that I have experienced. I am 37 years old, and in my 37 years on this planet, this has been the worst year. Let me put it that way. Green is absolutely right. There's been other things out there, the Black Plague, the Spanish flu, 1918, whenever that was. I mean, that killed millions upon millions of people. Obviously not as bad as COVID in this pandemic. But in this, in the 21st century, I would definitely say this has been the worst, for sure. But definitely not in the entire universe. So, well, we have spent now over 2 hours and 20 minutes talking about Cyberpunk, talking about just everything in itself. What I want to know is how excited are you for this game? write down in in the comments right now, how excited are you for Cyberpunk, and what does it mean to you on a personal level? Is this just a game you're going to play just to forget things going on right now? Does this game mean something more to you than just a game? Let me know in the comments. No, the stream really didn't start until Green came, so the stream just started. Yeah, the Cyberpunk getting delayed just kept pissing people off. I was frustrated too. That's why you never announce something, a release date, before you know for sure, you know? Just wait until it gets very, very close to when you think it's completely ready and then announce. Game does look like a great escape. Old man funky, it says. Yeah, I play a lot of games because of depression, you know, that we're all pretty much depressed of what's been going on right now. So this is going to be a good game that hopefully will bring a lot of us out of that type of depression. And Can says it will be the game of all games. Easton says he lost a lot of hype in the delay, or that he lost his own hype in the delay, but he feels it's back up again, so that's good. Lazy's going to do a stealth sniper build. That's going to be fun. Jason is the man. He knows exactly what's all. Jason DP says Game of the Year, Ghost of Tsushima. He is very correct. In my opinion, the Game of the Year so far is Ghost of Tsushima. This will be, Erica says this is going to be her Fallout New Vegas, which was a game that she played obsessively for years. I feel the same way. No, exactly, Jason. The pandemic did not help with the game at all. Green says he's very excited for Cyberpunk, just to get lost in the world. You know, as people are saying, combat is not that great, but his goal within the game is to avoid combat. See, Green knows about it. He's going to go into the game knowing exactly what the game is for. This game is not an action game. He knows that. Because everyone has said the combat hasn't felt that good, but they also said it didn't feel that good because it was very early into their combat shenanigans. So once you get more upgraded and more perks and more, you know, combat stuff, I'm sure it's going to open up and the combat will get a little bit better. Omega says it's going to be in their opinion, it's going to be one of the best games ever made. So awesome. Yeah, I don't think Hades is going to get Game of the Year. I mean, I haven't even really heard about it. Yes, their timing is very bad. Timmy! I mean, the world's in the underworld. Humble folks without temptation. I mean, this game was originally supposed to come out in April 2020. So here we are, literally 9 months later. Yeah, exactly. The Gamer Kid says it seems that the combat will get better once you get better guns. So that's true. Yes, investors are a very big problem to all of the issues in video games. It's all about trying to please the investors and not the people playing the game. The teaser was way back then. It was over 7 years ago when they teased this game. Crazy. Yeah, the animations look really good, and I've also heard that the further you get, the more perks you unlock, you get better animations for weapons and stuff. So I think that's a pretty cool little nod as well. Yeah, don't get yourself overhyped. Keep it... Understand there's going to be bugs. Understand there's going to be weird glitches. It might crash your system. It might do all this kind of stuff. But that's just the nature of the beast. They said no more delays. They can't get every single bug fixed. It's just impossible. And they just have to learn their lesson from this in the future. Kilka says in an old interview with CDPR, they were aiming to release around 2017 originally. But you see, that's what happens when people get so hyped for a game, the scope ends up going even more. So I think I'm gonna be honest. I think this game would have been released in probably 2017 or 2018. But once people saw that original gameplay, I bet you $1 million. They saw the excitement and how everyone was just going crazy for it, that they were like, we got to do something to make this even better. Then they brought Keanu Reeves on board. I bet you originally he wasn't going to be like this huge part of the game. But I bet you that they decided, it's like, well, we got him in here to play Johnny Silverhand, so let's utilize him. It's going to make even more people buy the game. It's all PR. It's all PR. I mean, the developers, to them, it's not PR. To the developers, it's a meaningful thing. But to investors and to the producers, it's all PR. They don't give a crap about gameplay and things like that. All they care about is what's going to sell the game. Keanu Reeves is going to sell a game. Say what you want. He's going to sell the game. It's not that the developers are trying to make it to, there's a reason he's going to sell the game, as opposed to, well, we're just putting him in here to sell the game. You know what I mean? Yes, people were very mad over the delays. Yes, his bike brand is in the game as well, right? They have like an updated version, a 2077 version of his motorbike company. Most buildings are locked because you're going to be able to eventually go in some of them during quests, correct? So you're not going to be able to go into every building, but a lot of buildings will be locked that you'll eventually will be able to go into. But again, there's no reason to go into every building. All you're going to do is walk in, and there's nothing to do in there. So what's the point? Oh my god, it's a building, I can go in. Let me go back outside and go to the next building. Oh my god, it's a building, I can go in, even though I can't do anything in here, and there's no gameplay whatsoever. So why did they put this many? Instead, they could have put more details into the places you really need to go into. You see what I'm saying? That's why I always get confused by when people ask, can you go into every building? Oh my god, that would be so immersive. Like, do you go into every building when you're walking down the street? No. Yeah, the amount of detail is really, really good. It feels like a linear type of detail. Like, it feels like they've handcrafted every single thing in here, and that's what I feel is such a great thing. It just wastes your time, exactly. I mean, it's like, I mean, let's be honest. Even in your apartment, how many times are you going to sit in there and marvel at everything in your apartment? A few times. Because once you've seen it, once you've looked at every little corner, there's no other reason except for maybe when cutscenes play out, then you're interested in it again. Other than that, what's the purpose of it, you know? At least they put the apartment in there to begin with, which is freaking cool, right? But other than that, what's the real reason? So I'm happy that there's an apartment in there. I think it would have been even cooler if we got to choose apartments, but that's just not what they were going for. So maybe they'll do that after in DLC. They've talked about it, but we don't know 100% for sure yet. So you're going to go to your apartment the first time. You're going to look around. You're going to sit on the couch, because I've seen the apartment. I saw the leaked gameplay. That happened yesterday of some guy tweeting, or not tweeting, he was streaming it, and someone made it into a video. I saw it, and I will put it again, and I said this earlier, and maybe some of you weren't in here. I'm going to put that gameplay leaked video on, I'm going to put the link for it on the Cyberpunk page in our Discord. So if you want to check out that, it's not spoilery or anything unless you consider seeing your apartment for the first time spoilerly. I'm going to give you a chance to take a look at that. Again, click on the link in the description, discord.gg/Sinistrain01. There is a channel in there called Cyberpunk 2077. I am going to put the gameplay of that leaked footage in there, so you're going to be able to see it. All right? All it is showcases the nomad path of when you make it to the city for the first time and you go to your apartment. That's pretty much it. So there's not really a lot of spoilers in it. But you'll pretty much go into the apartment. You'll see that there's like this nice little living room area with a big round couch. You can watch TV. I haven't told you this, but another thing that it does similar to GTA is that you can watch hours upon hours upon hours of TV content in the game. That's true. So in your apartment. So you can sit on the couch. It's a circular couch. You've got a TV that appears out of the side of the wall, and you can watch news programs. You can listen to like podcasts. There's, I don't know exactly all the shows that are going to be involved, but you've seen some of the types of shows that you've seen in there, right? You saw those in some of the gameplay previews that we saw, where they had like, you know, them weird newscast programs and things like that. So I'm only guessing that those are the ones you're going to see, but it is in it, and you do see a glimpse of it in the gameplay leak that I will put on my Discord channel right after this. So again, go to my Discord if you want to see that, as I have a specific video that will showcase that in it. But what you're also going to see in that video is the regular PS4 version and the most funniest bugs and glitches you've ever seen in your life. So funny. Literally, Jackie's driving into your apartment complex. You know how you got to go up. Remember how it's a multi-story building? You go up through the garage, and he literally parks into a wall, and then the game takes over somehow and lifts your car and slightly starts to go back and turn it sideways. It's the most hilarious thing. I mean, I laughed my ass off when I saw this video, and I was just like, I cannot believe this is hilarious. Is it going to break my immersion? No. Is it going to be in the final game? No, because they've already said they have a day one patch that fixes all of these bugs. It's just that they don't have that patch in yet, obviously. But yeah, so again, I will put that on our Discord when this stream is over, okay? As far as what else you saw, there's a mirror that you can click on in your apartment that allows you to see yourself. You got a wardrobe room, shower. You've got your arms room, which has all of your weapons. So in the beginning, obviously, there's no weapons in there. It's all just, you know how you have those things on the wall that have the indentions of the weapons, but not the actual weapons in there. So once you go around and buy weapons or find them, pick them up, then you'll add them to your collection, and eventually that wall will be full, kind of like your arms room and whatnot. Someone's calling me. Oh, my dad's calling me. Well, I'll pick it up. There we go. Okay, so what else? Any more questions? Did you actually watch the video, Timmy, where that happens? Okay, first of all, when he's driving up in through the garage, he drives through a gate. The gate doesn't disappear. You just drive through the gate. So clearly that was a glitch. Yes, the free next gen update is not until next year. Green asks, am I going to do all 3 intros before decide? Yes, exactly. Well, that's not Green, sorry. That's the gamer kid. Yeah, I'm going to be doing all 3 intros. We're going to start with Nomad, Street Kid, and then end with Corpo. And then I'm going to literally decide at that point which one I like the best to continue. Then I will continue from there. So that's how we're going to do it. Do I know anything about the medics in the game? Yes. Okay, so you're about to see the trauma team, right? The medics. So there's also a comic that's coming out at the beginning of next year that's going to showcase history of this trauma company, right? So I think that's going to be cool for you to check out, because, you know, you're going to get more backstory. There's also a Cyberpunk Edge Runners Netflix series that's going to be coming out, I think, in 2 years, in 2022. Yeah, so if you're a fan of Altered Carbon, which is one of my favorite shows, and I'm so pissed that they canceled it. There's 2 seasons of it. If you've got Netflix and you haven't seen Altered Carbon and you're a fan of Cyberpunk, oh my gosh, go watch it now. It is so freaking good. Like, I binged watched both seasons like in 2 freaking days. It's so good. I can't recommend it enough. It's an amazing show. I did prefer the first season a little bit more, but that's probably because I was just getting used to the world and the amazement and excitement of it. There is also there's an anime movie as well on Netflix. So you've got 2 seasons and an anime movie, and if you're huge into sci-fi or future sci-fi and cyberpunk, you gotta watch it. Now, to get back on track with this, you will not be able to utilize this medical thing, right? This is only for rich people. However, you will not be able to utilize it. You'll deal with them every now and then, but you will not be able to utilize it. Yes, Joel Kinnaman did a spectacular job in the first season. It's so good. I just love that futuristic setting. Because CD leaked that if you pay insurance and you're in trouble, the medical team gets you out. Did they actually leak that, or where did you hear that from? Because I've heard that you cannot. And this was confirmed by the people that played 16 hours, that you yourself cannot get the insurance to do that. Like, you can't have that team come and help you out. That is what I heard from the people that have played 16 hours. So if you're hearing it from another source, I can't back up that source. I don't know 100%. But yeah. Yes, Jason, becoming a dad is the most rewarding thing that I think I will ever do. I've always heard the saying, anyone can become a dad, right? Like, any man can be, or anyone can become a dad if they want. But it takes someone very special to become a father, right? To say that you're a father, I think, means more than anyone, because anyone, there's millions of people have babies all the time, but they're not there for their kids or whatever. But I think I always love that saying, anyone become a dad, but it takes a real become a father. And that's how I like to live, is that I want to be a father, not just a dad, if that makes sense. I know, right? The first guy that leaked the game played 20 minutes, but he actually played about 2 minutes. And he's sitting there laughing like, I got the game. Can you believe this? 5 people are watching me. Oh, this is amazing. This is so great. Oh, man. I mean, he was so high first. He literally drove into like cars and stuff. He was so stupid. And he repeated the same cutscene like 5 times in a row. You watch the first gameplay leak, which is not really a leak because it's just the beginning of the Nomad, which you've seen a million times in videos. But he tried to sell it for like 5K. Yeah, exactly. But he got caught, and I believe eBay took it down. And I believe he's going to get sued and probably end up going to jail for that. I mean, that guy is just... he was not very smart. And even the second gameplay that's been leaked yesterday, which I'll show you that gameplay clip on my Discord. Click on the link. It's also in the chat. It's easy. It's free to sign up and talk about all different types of games. I'll have that in there as soon as this stream is over with, okay? I don't know if he's going to get jail time. I mean, I don't know too much of the story. I just know what had happened to this point. Exactly. If you got the game, you don't want to risk leaking or streaming, because right now CD Projekt Red is really out looking for this content, and they're going to take it down immediately. They're going to strike your channel. They're probably going to sue you because, I mean, maybe you'll be able to fight it in court if an actual publisher released it to you, but if you stole it from somewhere, then that's going to come out and screw yourself up in the process. So what is the point? Play it, have fun. Although I can definitely tell you that I've wanted people to leak it because I want to see more free roam. I don't want to see any more of the story, but I want to see more free roam. I just want a video. I wish CD Projekt Red did this. I just want a video of just driving through the city. That's it. Nothing but driving through the city. Like listening to the sounds of the city, of people talking as you're driving by, nice and slow, going like 20 miles an hour, just ease in there, You know, um, that's all I've wanted. It's just a little bit of free roam gameplay demo trailer. Exactly. I wish they would have done that. And I think a lot of people would have been more excited for that type of trailer. Some people don't want spoilers. Some people don't want to know, story bits or whatever. I just want to see what happens when you're riding through the streets, as random crimes start happening, but you're not doing anything about it. You got the radio on, you're listening. I heard that Mike Smith, I think that's his name, right? The creator of Cyberpunk is going to be a radio DJ in the game. So you're going to be able to go to his radio station and he'll be DJing. So if that's true, that's pretty cool. I'm so glad that they implemented the creator of Cyberpunk in there, because we all know that The Witcher, they're not on good standings with the creator of The Witcher, right? CD Projekt Red. But which makes me so excited that that they've taken this relationship with Mike a lot more serious, and they've implemented him in the game. They've asked him to be in the game. He knows he's been a full part of production and everything, which is great, because that means they can stay true to the source and make it as authentic as possible. Do you have to mute all the music? Okay, so no, I will not have to do that, because there is a mode, or should I say there's a toggle in the game that allows you to turn off licensed music. CD Projekt Red came out with a video not too long ago that explained, for you streamers and content creators out there that want to focus on making videos and not be hit by the content ID systems and the copyrighted music, we have a mode that turns off anything that would be copyrighted. So you'll still have music that CD Projekt Red creates. They will not copyright their own music, which is great, because a lot of companies now copyright their own music. I just got a copyright notice from Call of Duty, Warzone. The music that plays during Warzone. I did a stream a year ago in Modern Warfare Warzone, and just the background music that plays in that, I got a copyright from the composer of the Call of Duty. So background music is starting to get copyrighted as well. It's not just the licensed tracks. You have to be very careful, which is why in Valhalla I decided to turn the music down, because I've been copyrighted many times in Assassin's Creed, in Splinter Cell, in any music that Jesper Kid does. He copyrights his music all the time. So I've had to take off a lot of copyrighted stuff from my Assassin's Creed videos and stuff. And you probably haven't watched them in such a long time and you just don't notice. But I get those all the time from Jesper Kid. His company or whoever works for him flags my stuff all the time, because I did so many walkthroughs for Assassin's Creed, and he did a bunch of the Splinter Cell games, and he did a few of the first Assassin's Creed games. So yeah. But I've been a little bit more laxed when I've been live streaming Valhalla. I've turned the music up a little bit more. Yeah, it's just getting to the point where it's getting real bad out there. But at least when I heard that news, when CD Projekt Red said, we will not copyright your music, there's an option to turn off the actual licensed music in the game. So happy. That was so great. I mean, I was just so happy to hear that, because it just means that I can have that music 100%. Music is so important in video games, right? But if you want to do this job, this is a job. A lot of people still don't seem to realize that content creation is no longer a niche. It's an actual job, and people can make a living from it. I'm barely making a living from it. I'm on the very low aspect of what can be made on the thing. I'm not making enough, let me say, to support where I live and everything I have. I don't make enough, which is why I've had to try to get people to become members or Patreons or whatever, so that I can actually pay for the bills. And it's still low. It's still not enough. But now that I've switched houses, it's a little bit easier to manage, because I can't go out and get a normal civilian job right now because of my back. And I still work for the Army, but I have not been able to actually go in and do my Army job since May. I was working for the riots that happened in, I think it was May, in Atlanta. I got called in for that, but that was the last time I could go in because that was the moment my back said nope, and I pretty much haven't been able to do anything since because my back has been pretty bad. So, you know, when we get those donations and those super chats, the regular Patreons, the PayPal stuff, all that does go directly into just paying the bills, because that's all I care about. But it is how it is, you know. Streamers nowadays, they make their livings off of subscribers. You know, if you stream on Twitch, you have subscribers that pay monthly. You know, that's what you do. Ads on YouTube are just very low. They're just not what they used to be, right? So it's getting tougher and tougher, which is why I'm starting to stream a lot more, because streaming is the way of the future. It's no longer about just walkthroughs anymore. It's all about streaming content. Let's plays are really what it's all about now. Literally. So, ooh, nice, Green. Awesome. Hopefully it gets to you within enough time. That would be great. Which version did you get? Did you get the Xbox or a PlayStation version? My guess is you got the PlayStation version, because I know you only played Xbox when we did Ghost Recon. I don't think Twitch is dead. It's still, there's still millions, hundreds of millions of people watching. I know. I know. Yeah. You only played the Xbox version because we did Ghost Recon. It is going to be a very insane launch day. And the fact is that they're going to have copies in stores. I just hope it's not like a Black Friday thing where people are going to be rushing out there and COVID spreading left and right. I find it hard to believe that the collector's edition is going to be here by the end of the day. This is still like over a week before, so my guess is that's not true. I'm not saying you're a liar, gamer kid, but I find it hard to believe that Amazon is going to ship something a week before a release date, because then they would be breaking the release date. So I'm going to say no to that one, then move on. It might come a few days early. It might be getting ready to start shipping process, but it's definitely not coming. Exactly, unless there's a digital code that's in the collector's edition and not a physical disc, and then the code doesn't activate until release. I appreciate that, Timmy. Like, mostly the games that I play early are because developers have given them to me. Again, I've put in my request for Cyberpunk 2077, but I'm not 100% sure I'm going to get it. There's a few places I could get it from. I have a contact at CD Projekt Red themselves, and also there's a thing called Terminals, which is a place where content creators can go to get games. But we'll just see. There's so much demand for the game that it's hard to say one way or another that it's going to happen or not. So I can't give you a 100%. But wow, we've reached over 300 likes on this stream. Keep them coming. Do you think we can get to 400? Is there still, 93 people out there that have yet to like this video? That would be awesome to get to 400. I can't believe how many people we actually had in here. We had 400 in here at one time. But we've been talking for 2 hours and 48 minutes on nothing but Cyberpunk. And you guys have been awesome. Thank you for so much for being in here and just, talking about this game, this amazing game that's going to come out. And I wanted to give you my thoughts on it. I wanted to express what my plans are for the Let's Play that we're doing. It's all going to be live streams. I might do some videos up front, maybe like a free roam video, for those that don't want to be spoiled but still want to see something. But as far as video walkthroughs, I am not doing any of that until we at least do a Let's Play, and then I know every mission. I can go back and possibly do a walkthrough. This is a very long game. I don't want to overwork myself. I just want to do live streams and do the Let's Play. Trying to do it as stealthy as possible, of course. That's what I do with every game, but then try a pacifist run afterwards if enough people are wanting it. but only if enough are wanting it. That's true, Green. Yes, studios are known to do that. And if something happens and you don't get what you were asked for, or they had to change something, or it gets delayed, studios will usually send an extra thing. I am going to do a stealth run through, yeah. Exactly. After live streaming, do stealth guides instead of. I mean, that's possible as well. You know, I'm feeling for what I'm doing. Oh, that sucks, man. Hopefully you'll get over with it soon. You know, my father and stepmom just had COVID, and luckily, you know, God bless, it's over. They don't have it anymore. My stepmom is still feeling kind of down and low, you know, but my dad fully recovered so far, and he's feeling a lot better. So I'm just very, very happy for that. I went in and got a COVID test because he was with me to help me move during the time he got COVID. So we were scared and we wanted to make sure. So Jen and I went and got a COVID test, and we got our results back, and they ended up being negative. So that was very, very happy for us. It is. COVID it's crazy. It hits some people more than it does others, and you don't really know how it's going to hit you. So I do also wish that there was a demo. I think that would have been a very good thing, but also remember that if they would have done a demo, it would have taken more people off of the development of the main game and could have delayed it even more. So at this point, I'm glad there's not. But I wish maybe they had a demo like a few years ago or a year ago or something that could have showcased the game to give us a little glimpse, you know? I think every game should come out with a demo, to be honest. I think every single game should come out with a timed demo. Give you 10 minutes to walk around. 10 minutes, and so it's almost like an unlocked game for 10 minutes. Yeah, there might be glitches or whatever, but no one gives a crap about glitches on an unreleased product. They care about glitches on a released product. So if, like, the one-shot demo from Resident Evil is the perfect way to do a demo. You get one chance to play it, and that's it. But then they found ways around it, you know, people creating different accounts or doing things like that. There's always ways around stuff. But I do at least feel that there should be demos for every game that comes out. Again, the videos aren't telling a lot, but I think they're designed that way. They don't want to ruin the story, and this is a very heavily story game. So, am I anticipating Resident Evil 8? Kinda not. Capcom sucks when it comes to copyright. They immediately copyright everything I do, even when they send me the game themselves. So Capcom is just, lately, I have not happy with. I'm glad to hear that, Renee, of course. Yeah, so think of Victor as your Ripper Doc, right? That's what he's called. He's one of them. There are many Ripper Docs. He's the one, I guess, mainly involved in the story. Think of him as the guy that you go to upgrade your cyberware. His name is not Adam Slasher, it's Smasher. My guess is that we already know that there's a flashback with Johnny where you'll get to participate possibly in the fight with Adam Smasher, but there could be something in the future about Adam Smasher because we haven't seen him in the future. We've only seen him in the flashback and in the brain dance. So obviously he's still there, but we don't know 100% sure if we're going to get a chance to actually use him in a boss fight. Maybe you can become friends with him if you're Corpo. You know, who knows? You don't know. We don't know anything yet, right? It's up to the imagination right now. Yeah, but I don't want to get into that stuff. I mean, we know that the whole reason that Johnny is on that chip is because whoever made that chip wanted to bring the consciousness of the chip into whoever's wearing it. So that's how you get a second life. So the original story about the chip is that they're making clones of people and that you can put your consciousness into, it's almost like altered carbon. if you think about it. So obviously Altered Carbon got a lot of their ideas from the Cyberpunk lore, whereas you have a chip and you can do your consciousness to different bodies and stuff like that. So it's the same concept as that. Although V, you're your own person when you get the chip in you. So it's going to be that conflict of fighting back and forth. Is this supposed to be a real world city? Yes. It actually takes place in California. It's in between Los Angeles and San Francisco, I think, or something like that. I'll put the video link as soon as this thing is done in the Cyberpunk 2077. And I'll put on there, this is a gameplay leak. Watch it at your own risk. So again, if you haven't logged into our Discord, you can do that. Create your account. It's free. And there will be a channel in there called Cyberpunk 2077. You'll find that in the left corner. Click on it, and then I will have the video posted in there. He does sound like he's going to be very antagonist, but you can play him. You can play off him how you want. You can agree with him, and he will be less antagonistic. You can not agree with him, and then be more antagonistic. So the option is going to be up to you. I got my little girls in the background. She's yelling and screaming, but happy yelling and screaming. She's finding her voice. You know, she's 8 months now, so she's finding her voice, and so she uses it a lot, and she gets so happy and just yells. It's so hilarious. All right, guys, but I think that's going to be it for the stream. We went about 3 hours today just talking about this game, which is so amazing. And I can't wait. Well, I mean, I want Johnny to be on our side, but again, we don't know how it's going to be. Is his true meaning to be a villain, or can you work with him and he doesn't take over you? You know, those are going to be the questions that I think a lot of us are going to be asking. So thank you guys so much for the 333 likes. I mean, before you leave here, leave a like. Let's see if we can get as close to 400 as possible. This has been an awesome stream. Thank you all for tuning in. I wanted to get this out there because I want to just talk about Cyberpunk and what my plans for the walkthrough were. So if you missed that, you can always rewind back to the beginning when the video becomes on the channel, and then you can find out what my plans for the walkthrough are, the life path choices, like that. Other than that, join our Discord. I'm going to go ahead and put that link of the video that was leaked if you want to take a look at that and just have a good time laughing. It's not spoilery. Trust me, you're not going to get into any story-related issues, spoiler stuff. So you don't have to worry about that. But I'll put that link on in the Discord Cyberpunk channel, and I'll do that right now. Other than that, thank you all for tuning in. You guys are just absolutely amazing. You make it so fun to stream and talk to all of you out there. I know we have so many different diverse personalities on this channel, and I just love the fact that even though we might not disagree, we can talk about it in a civilized way. That's what this channel is all about, civility and all that. And just, you know, a place for all of us to come together and talk about games. How fun is that? So love you guys. Take care of yourselves. And I can't wait to start playing this game, and I can't wait to show it to all of you. And so excited. So again, I'll see you guys in Discord in just a minute. I love you all. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. Peace.